Please take a moment, my beloved. Yes, behave properly where you are and pay attention, because I'm talking to you directly. This night has a weight that is different from all the others. It's your turn tonight. Your gifts are now living in the world. It's not just a message. It's not even close to a divine break. Feel the energy in my voice as I bring your spirit closer. Something that you've held, hoped for, and fought for a long time is now in motion. I want you to pay attention, because what's being released into your life tonight needs your full attention, readiness, and open heart. Tonight, I lean close to you. I'm closer than your next breath, the pain in your chest, and your thoughts. You might not be feeling it anymore, but I'm wrapping you up right now, because this is not a normal night for you. There have been many nights in your life that felt normal, heavy, or empty. But tonight, I drew a circle around you in the unseen and said, this one is different. This one is about a side. You saw that you had reached the end of another day. But I've been guiding your steps up to this very moment, so that I can whisper something into your spirit that changes the course of your tomorrow. I want you to know that I'm not far away, uninterested, or distracted. I'm purposely focused on you right now. I see how your faith has been tested, your soul has been stretched, and your heart is tired of looking ahead. I've seen you spend nights lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if something could ever really change for the better. I heard the sighs you never put into words. Lord, I'm tired. You suppressed that thought and pushed it to the back of your mind, fearing it might come across as ungrateful. I observed how you continued to walk despite your heart being filled with questions and your shoulders burdened with heaviness. So I tell you, this night isn't always by accident, and what I'm doing in you right now isn't small. I'm drawing near with a holy aim to strengthen you, realign you, and make you ready for what I've already brought into your life. You've felt like life has dragged you down, and that things haven't gone as planned. But I'm here tonight to lift you above your defeat. I'm not just lifting your mood, I'm also lifting your eyes to see beyond what your eyes have shown you. I am lifting your spirit from, maybe that's just how it will always be, to the certainty that I am still writing new chapters for you. As you read these words, I am jolting your heart awake again. I'm touching the parts of you that have become numb from sadness and waking them up. I'm clearing your mind of the promises you pushed aside due to fear of disappointment. You need to understand that I didn't bring you this far only to leave you in the middle. I didn't walk with you through the valleys only to leave you on the edge of a leap forward. This night is holy because I'm telling your spirit that a divine turning point has begun. Even though you can't see it all yet, the change is already happening. In this moment of silence, I'm marking you with new grace. I'm surrounding you with my desire. Even in situations that used to resist you, I'm breathing strength into your body, clarity into your mind, and courage into your heart. That is your designated lifting night, when the burdens you've been bearing begin to diminish, and the weight that sought to define you starts to detach. I'm leaning in close to comfort you and reposition you. I'm moving you from a position of slightly maintaining to one of standing strong, feeling comfortable, and knowing that you are chosen, seen, and deeply loved. As I lift you up, I want you to know that this moment is just the beginning of what I'm doing in you, and that the story I'm writing with your life is far from over. Pay close attention, because what I'm saying now cuts through all the noise, worry, and unanswered longing that has been weighing on your heart. I'm breaking the silence that has been weighing on your spirit. You've been through times when my presence seemed far away, heaven seemed quiet, and your prayers felt like whispers lost in a vast sky. But tonight something changes, because I'm stepping into that silence with a voice that is clear, authoritative, and full of healing. You've wondered if I heard you at all, if your cries become lost somewhere between your pain and the ceiling above you. I want you to know this: I hear every single one of them, and I don't miss a prayer. My silence didn't mean I wasn't there. It meant I was giving instructions, setting things in order, and making sure everything was right. But tonight, the silence breaks not with chaos, but with the fullness of my presence. There were nights you asked, "Lord, are you still with me?" You were scared I couldn't keep up with you. You wondered if the promises you held on to were still alive, or if they had expired with time. But now, in this holy moment, I speak directly to that inner pain. I was with you in every silence, and now I watch what I've been building behind the scenes. You are entering a moment meant to renew your faith, not with empty hope, but with divine reality. The silence was needed to strengthen your faith, so that when I speak again, you'll feel it in every part of you. This evening, let my words sink in like rain on a dry floor. I'm not speaking to bring you down. I'm speaking to heal you. I'm not speaking to cause worry. I'm speaking to bring peace where anxiety has lived for too long. I'm speaking to remind you of what hasn't happened. I'm speaking to rouse what will begin to happen. My silence ends because your season is changing. My voice comes forth because your step forward requires sparkling coaching, renewed strength, and deeper vision. So breathe slowly and deeply, because what you feel growing inside isn't imagination. It's confirmation. The stirring you sense around you isn't a mere coincidence. It's a manifestation of movement. You are not walking into uncertainty. You are walking into solutions. As I break the silence over your life, I damage the silence over everything that felt muted, behind schedule, or forgotten. Your spirit will listen to me again. This night, the silence ends and the unfolding can begin. Feel the truth of this moment. I have seen every battle you fought quietly. In every battle, you hid behind a smile. I have seen every burden you carried without trying to bother anyone. You have more potential than you realize, and are stronger than you give yourself credit for. But tonight, I want to discuss the burden you carried. Those invisible battles pressed against your spirit, while others saw only the ground. You endured pressure that would have broken someone less brave, but you stood even though it felt like the hardest thing you could do. You carried responsibilities, fears, uncertainties, and expectations that were never meant to fall on your shoulders alone. But you kept moving, believing, and hoping. Even if your hope flickered like a candle in the wind, I observed it all. There were days when you felt invisible, and you told yourself that your energy came from routine, survival, and necessity. But I tell you tonight that your energy came from me, flowing through you, even when you didn't know it. I was the only one who could keep you going when your electricity ran out. I provided the silent comfort you needed when anxiety overwhelmed you. I was the subtle voice that urged, "Attempt once more," when you contemplated surrendering to everything. And now, because you persevered even when your heart was weary, I speak over the burden that has been lingering with you for far too long. It breaks this night. You don't have to be fake anymore. Not with me. You don't have to carry something that wasn't meant to be your burden. Tonight, I gently lift the weight that has been wearing you down. You are strong for reaching a limit despite being tired, unfaithful, or broken. You're human, And I'm here tonight to trade your heaviness for my healing, your tiredness for my rest, and your silence for my restoring presence. You can feel the release all at once or slowly. The weight you carried is not yours. You came into this night carrying burdens you didn't say, but you'll leave this moment carrying grace you never imagined. And that's just the beginning of what I'm lifting from your life. Listen to your words with intensity, with reverence, and with the gravity it deserves. Your endurance is no longer gone and ignored. There were times when you kept moving with tears in your eyes. You kept believing, even when sadness pressed against your chest. You confirmed it on days when your strength felt borrowed. When your faith was weak, all you could do was tremble quietly and say, "Lord, help me to keep going." I witnessed every sigh, step, and tear. You've faced trials that revealed your faith's strengths and weaknesses, seasons that pushed you out of your comfort zone, and valleys you never thought you'd see. And tonight I honor your patience, not with empty words, but with a divine response. You didn't keep going because life was easy. You kept going, even when you wondered if anything was happening. You prayed even when hope felt like a thin thread slipping through your hands. Whenever you considered surrendering but chose to persevere, my hand was there to prevent your fall. Your patience is no longer ignored. It is being recorded, valued, and remembered. But tonight, something more than that happens. Your staying power is being rewarded. The prayers you said when no one was looking, the decisions you made to live faithfully, even when it hurt, and the battles you fought quietly have all built a non-secular momentum that now demands manifestation. You persisted, and now I carry elevation. You persisted, and presently I launch blessings that lighten the load of what you survived. You persisted, and now you prefer places where resistance once lived. Their reward is not repayment, it's miles of fulfillment. I'm making sure that nothing you did was wasted. The pain you carried became energy. The tears you shed became testimony. And the nights you spent thinking became mornings full of clarity. The season ahead of you is not random. It's the direct result of your unwavering faith and persistence. And tonight, I honor you by ushering you into what you have been waiting for so long. Your unwavering faith and persistence, which once felt like a lonely journey, now become proof of why you are ready for what comes next. Feel this truth with all the weight and wonder it deserves. The resistance that has been affecting your life, your thoughts, your progress, and your peace starts to fall apart. You have been through times when every breakthrough felt like war, and every step forward didn't happen at the right time. Every time you tried to rise, you were met with invisible opposition that pushed you back. You questioned whether there was something amiss within yourself, perhaps lacking sufficient strength, faith, or capacity. But listen to me. The resistance you faced wasn't a sign of your weakness, it was proof of your calling. What stood against you wasn't random. It was planned. The enemy fought you because he saw what turned up in your life before you did. The stress wasn't because you were failing. It was because you were a threat to darkness. You were marked. You were chosen. And tonight, I talk about the unseen battle around you and inside you. My authority breaks down every opposing force that has stood in your way. You've felt resistance in your mind, and doubts tried to drown your hope. In the past, you've felt resistance in your feelings, where heaviness tried to settle over your heart like a fog. You've also felt resistance in opportunities that disappeared, in relationships that changed all at once, and in budgets that seemed to become tighter, no matter how diligently you worked. But tonight, that resistance meets my intervention. Tonight, The walls that seemed impossible to move start to crack. This night, the religious tension that was holding you back loses its power. As of tonight, the atmosphere that was heavy with hopelessness is beginning to break open. You are not imagining this change. You are stepping into it. I have told the forces that are working against you to release their grip. I have spoken into the non-secular realm and said that the season of obstruction is over. You may feel breakthroughs happen with much less resistance. Words that were once confusing will become clear. When I assert that something must collapse, it indeed does. When I say I have control over your lifestyles, competition loses its hold. So don't be surprised when things start to move quickly. Don't doubt it when circumstances abruptly shift. Don't question it when long-standing barriers fall away in an instant. This transformation is not a coincidence. It is the result of what I am decreeing over you right now. You have fought long battles, but tonight is the night when effort meets ease, prayer meets receiving, and striving meets breakthrough. The resistance you felt became real, but my power is greater, and tonight, what you resisted starts to fall away like dust under your feet. Let this reality hit your spirit full on. I have told my angels about you. There are things going on in your life that your physical eyes can't see. Things are moving in ways that you'll be amazed at later. You sometimes felt alone, as if you were fighting all the battles. But tonight, I learned that you weren't. My angels were with you in the darkness, protecting you when danger got close, pushing back forces that wanted to stop you, and whispering bravery into your spirit when fear tried to shut you up. Now, at the appropriate moment, I am releasing them into a new phase of activity for you. Don't underestimate what's going on. Now, my angels carry power that no enemy can resist. They bring authority that no resistance can provide. They immediately carry out tasks that align with the promises I've made for your lives. Once I send them out, no darkness can stop them. Tonight, they go into places you can't cross, hearts you can't change, and decisions you can't make. They go into environments you can't enter and rooms where your name is being said while you sit quietly. They clear paths, open doors, and break down traps to make sure that what I have planned for you will reach you easily and clearly. You've prayed for safety, and I have spoken back. You've prayed for direction, and I have sent people who are powerful to fight for you. My angels are moving things above, around, and in front of you that are in line with my will for your life. You may feel a change in the environment, a stirring in your spirit, and a surprising lifting in your heart. That's because they are setting things up for your blessing to show up. Walk with assurance tonight, because you aren't going into your future alone. Walk with peace because you're surrounded. Walk with confidence because heaven is actively running for you. My angels aren't just watching, they are actively supporting your step forward. And tonight they are moving with the force of my command. Hear those words with a tenderness that goes deep into your soul. I have held every prayer you've ever whispered, cried, or thought in silence in my presence, and tonight they rise before me with clean energy. On certain nights, you found yourself praying by the fireplace for your heart, and on other occasions, your desire to form a sentence was so weak that you could barely articulate it. There were times when you prayed out of faith and times when you prayed out of desperation. But no matter how you prayed, I heard every word. Not a syllable is lost. Not a tear will be missed. No longing will get through my hands. Tonight I want to remind you of something holy. My answers are always there. They may be timed. You thought that delay was denial. It turned out to be safety. You thought that silence meant indifference. It was practice. You thought I had forgotten. But I was setting things up so your blessing wouldn't come too early or too late. Now the waiting period is over because your prayers, which have been saved and kept secret for a long time, are pushing up in front of me again. They rise like incense, laden with memory, weight, and my answer. You prayed for healing in places you would rather not tell everyone about. You prayed for direction when you didn't want to admit you were lost. You prayed for provision when you were afraid that other people would decide your conflict. You prayed for peace during storms that no one knew you were going through. And tonight I hold those prayers close to my heart and breathe life into them. You will see answers, feel changes, and see signs that remind you that I was listening the whole time. Your prayers didn't end, get weaker, or fade away. They grew stronger and had a bigger effect. And now the answers that seemed far away are getting closer. You'll see the unfolding, not in small steps, but in big ones. You won't have to push it, control it, or worry about it. What I release now is wrapped in my timing, my awareness, and my goodness. So breathe in hope again. Breathe in expectation again. Your once lost prayers are now blossoming before my very eyes, and they may be growing with energy. Tonight, I'm not only answering your prayers, but also addressing the heart behind them. And the answers you are getting will remind you that I never stopped listening, not even for a second. Feel the weight of this moment settle into your spirit tonight. The prayers you had hidden away in silence start to become real right in front of your eyes. You've carried hopes that felt too fragile to say out loud. You prayed through sleepless nights, storms that made you doubt yourself, and times when your heart felt too worn out to take on anything else. But every prayer, every whispered, "Lord, please," every quiet plea for help, and every tearful request for trade had been collected, held, and kept safe in my presence. And now, as this night goes on, I release the first wave of what you've been waiting for. There are benefits to moving closer to you that you can't see yet, but they're already happening because my word has set them in motion. You prayed for clarity, and I'm guiding you into it. You prayed for healing, and waves of healing are growing inside you. You prayed for freedom from cycles that seemed impossible to break, and those chains are starting to loosen. You prayed for opportunities, and the ground beneath your life is shifting to make room for what's to come. You prayed for strength, and I'm giving you the strength to walk through the doors I'm opening. You prayed for answers, and I'm orchestrating the details in the background to immediately bring you peace. This period isn't a moment of vague promise. It's a millisecond of divine activation. The prayers you planted with tears are sprouting with power. The cries you let out when you felt forgotten are being praised. I haven't forgotten your pain, your longing, your sacrifice, or your endurance. Tonight, I turn the spiritual into the real. I turn wish into truth. I turn waiting into receiving. What you believed to be postponed actually unfolds precisely, leaving you in awe. And as this process begins, I want you to understand something deeply. Manifestations don't always look like fireworks. Occasionally, they start as a shift in your spirit, a calmness in your mind, or a lifting of your ecosystem. Don't ignore the small signs. They're the first signs of a bigger blessing coming closer. What you feel right now, this stirring in your soul, this feeling that something is moving, is the main whisper of manifestation. It will grow, it will unfold, and it will become clear. Because I'm not only listening to your prayers tonight, I'm pleased with them. Listen carefully. because this truth is being spoken directly into the depths of your destiny. Your season has already begun to change. Before you knew it, you had gone through long periods of your life when it felt like nothing was changing, when time went by. But your situation didn't. As your desire waned while you waited for something to change, you felt stuck. You wondered if your life had become a cycle of sameness. But tonight, I lift the veil and show you what I've been doing behind the scenes. Your season has been quietly, but powerfully changing. And now the change is clear. Change in my realm happens long before it shows up in yours. Long before you see the proof. I start writing a new chapter. Long before you feel momentum, I set the parts of your life in motion. You may think nothing has changed, but tonight I see that everything has. Your prayers have changed the course of events. Your obedience has set you up for what's to come. You're not moving into possibility. You're moving into inevitability. The season you're leaving behind can't follow you where I'm taking you. The heaviness, confusion, stagnation, and worry all have their time, but they don't belong in the one I'm setting up before you. A shift comes with clarity. It comes with speed. It comes with opportunities that are in line with your purpose. People have been assigned to help bring about the next phase of the shift. You may not fully understand it yet, but your environment has already changed. The religious climate around you is unique. What used to hold you back now frees you, and what was holding you back now clears the way. This night is one of those times when a shift happens all at once. You'll start to notice things falling into place quickly. You'll experience a smoother flow of information, following a period of confusion. There will be peace where there was tension, and electricity where there was exhaustion. You may even notice that your discernment is getting sharper. Your steps are becoming more purposeful, and your confidence grows naturally. The change of a season isn't just random, it's spiritual. And tonight, your spirit starts moving in a new way. I have become the page. I have skewed the timeline. I have increased the speed. And what felt far away now draws near with truth. Your season is shifting. Nothing can stop what I am doing. Let this reality hit you like a holy claim. Tonight, I assert my influence over your life. You have spent years feeling like your progress was slow. Your breakthroughs were delayed, and your timing never seemed to match what you wanted. While you were waiting, you saw others becoming better. Even though you worked tirelessly, not much changed. Even though you prayed a lot, you felt stuck in loops that wouldn't move. But tonight, by my power, I will set you free from the slow pace you desire to escape and send you into a time when events occur quickly, all at once, and without a doubt. Speed is not acceleration. The supernatural is at work. It's time for me to take control of your life and eliminate the delays that should never have defined you. Things that used to take years start to happen in moments. That's a big deal. It's been a long time since opportunities have grown instead of gone away. It's been miles while doors open one after the other, not by chance but by divine plan. What you've been waiting for will get better tonight. I tell it to. The right people are now being told to take your training. I'm telling assets to locate you. I tell you to become more readable. The speed of your calling needs to go up. You don't need to worry about speed. It's not something you were ready for. Your idea had been lost even through seasons. You got better with every delay. Every problem made you stronger. Every setback made you stronger. Each season of waiting makes you smarter. Now that acceleration has arrived, you will be ready for what comes next with skills you didn't have before. That's why I kept some things from you until now. She took them away not because you didn't earn them, but because you shouldn't hold on to them too quickly. Through heavenly alignment, you will notice the change in speed. The right time will come for conversations. Opportunities will present themselves unexpectedly. It will be easy to see the connections. When you make decisions that were previously challenging, you may experience a surge of energy behind them. There will be movement in places that have felt stuck for years. As you watch, blessings will come back to you. This speeding up isn't always a mess. It is planned, organized, and led by my hand. You should be ready to walk as you start this multiplication season. Be brave as you walk. Expect something as you walk. There is no rush season coming up. You are moving into one that has been saved. This speeding up process is not always about catching up. It's about stepping into the present moment that became what was supposed to be yours. Tonight, I'm going to speed you up. I give you more speed and say that what used to crawl will now run. What quickly stopped will now speed up, and things that seemed impossible before will start to happen with divine ease. This feeling is like a hot wind blowing through the cold air around your heart. I haven't taken my eyes off of you at all. No way, not even for a beat. Not for one more breath. Not for a second of your trip now. There were times when the silence around you made you wonder if I was really there. At times, the burden of your circumstances made you question whether you were alone. There were times when your prayers seemed to come back to you from below, as if heaven had shut its doors. I'm getting close enough to you tonight, though, that I can whisper in your ears. You had not been left behind. Not while you were hurt. This happened more than once when you were under a lot of stress. You no longer felt alone, even when surrounded by people you depended on. Not even if your thoughts told you that no one had seen you. Even though your feelings told you otherwise, my presence stayed with you. You should remember that your feelings, even though they are real and heavy, have never been a good way to tell how close I am. I walked with you through your hardest times. I sat with you when you were feeling the most alone. I protected you from dangers you had no idea were getting close. I included you despite your lack of awareness regarding the impending psychic attacks. Whenever your mind was too busy to hear me, I whispered words of comfort into your spirit. When the enemy tried to stop you, I protected your reason. I always believed in you, even when you didn't. Even when you thought you were too weak to agree. I believed in the energy I put inside you. There have been times when you didn't know I was carrying you. Despite the mental stress that could have led you to give up, you maintained your composure and faced the challenge. That turned into me. At times your heart could have been irreparably damaged, yet it continued to beat. That turned into me. At times when you should have been feeling tense, peace came over you all at once. That turned into me. Though you thought you were lucky, you were actually loved every time. You have been held honestly. Every time you got through something that should have killed you. I'm going to remind you of these memories tonight, for a reason. I want you to enter this new phase of blessings with the assurance that you are under observation. I want you to confidently advance, assured of your safety, guidance, and assistance. You're not making breakthroughs by yourself. You're going to do it while I hold your hand, because that wrong belief once made your faith weak. I want you to let go of the idea that you were left behind. But now, your faith is stronger than ever. You are mine, and I won't give up on things I really like. I won't leave what I've called. I don't give up on what I've chosen. Furthermore, you, beloved, are deeply picked. Feel this moment as if something heavy and unseen is being gently taken away from you. Tonight, I'm taking the weight off your shoulders that you've been bearing still, fiercely, and selflessly for far too long. You've been strong for everyone else. Your dependability, accountability, and resilience have enabled you to persevere, even in the face of complete exhaustion. You learn how to smile through stress, laugh through stress, and cheer others up, even while you're quietly falling apart. Without telling yourself, I will be great. Even when everything was going well, you didn't. That's why you had to deal with financial, emotional, spiritual, and relational problems that built up over time until even your soul was worn out. But tonight, I'm going to reach into your inner foreigner and start taking away the weight one piece at a time. You were never meant to stay under stress that takes away your happiness and peace. You were never meant to be responsible for everything by yourself. There should have been a place for your pain before you took on everyone else's. There were nights when you held back tears just so you wouldn't fall apart. I have seen you wake up in the mornings feeling worn out before the day even began. Occasionally you were so tired that I thought you were a fighter, but you kept going like that. I say these words to you with both kindness and authority. Let go of the weight, because I'm carrying what you can't right now. Tonight, I take away the emotional weight that was making your heart feel heavy. I lift the mental weight that was making you feel stressed and doubtful. I add the sacred weight that made it seem like your prayers were hard to shape. When I lift, it's the body weight that makes me weak and worn out. I raise the social weight that made you feel responsible for other people's wants, but not your own. You might not feel everything go away at once, but you might notice the change. It will feel like your breathing is lighter. You'll have clear thoughts. When you cry, I take away the thing that is making you sad, so your spirit will feel more stable. I also play you a new game while I lift those weights. Calming down. There is no longer the rest that you get from sleep. There is now rest that goes deep into your soul. There is rest that heals, rest that restarts, and rest that brings back your joy and your energy. The peace that comes from knowing you're not fighting or fulfilling your duties alone. In the next few days, you'll walk in a different direction. Now, not because everything around you changes right away, but because you are renewing everything inside you. Tonight, the load you were carrying starts to break down and fall apart, and my peace grows in that place. Let my peace come over you like a holy wave of warmth. Tonight, you sense my presence upon you in a manner you have not experienced in quite some time. You have already accepted that I am here. It was when your heart was open and soft that you could sense, feel, and hear me. However, life has pressed on you. Distractions and storms have taken your attention away from what you were doing. You still believed in me, but you didn't always feel me. Even though you had trouble feeling me, you still loved me. You still prayed, but you missed being close to me, like when you were friends, and my presence felt natural. I'm drawing close again this night. No longer because you worked hard for it. It's not because you prayed fervently. No longer because you were strong enough, but because I like you so much, and that I want you to feel the comfort and ease that being close to me and having my hand on you can bring. As a quiet peace spreads through your chest and a warmth in your spirit, you can feel it. It makes the tension you've been holding in lessen. It can feel like your mind is calmed, your emotions are still, or there is a light sense of security that wraps around your soul like a blanket. It's not always loud when I'm around. It heals and is no longer needed. It takes in, it doesn't break, it becomes full. This evening, I'll tell you about places that have seemed empty, old, or forgotten. It's my pleasure to be here to renew your wish, ease your heart, and quiet the noise around you. Being here with you means reminding you that you are not navigating this world by yourself. I'm here to help heal emotional wounds that have been open for too long. Stress and responsibility have buried your pleasure, but being around me restores it. I am here to make you more religiously sensitive, so you should pay more attention to me and look at me with more confidence. At times, you may have felt spiritually numb. This was because you were tired and your senses were dulled, not because you lacked faith. But tonight, I wake up something that has been sleeping. I give you life again inside your head. I get you to listen to my voice again. I feed your hunger for my presence. I reignite your desire to take a leisurely stroll with me. This clean sound doesn't last long. It's miles and an invitation. A daily invitation to take a walk with me. Lean on me instead of your electricity. To trust my voice instead of worrying. To find comfort in me instead of the noise of the world. From tonight on, you'll feel me a lot more. Not because I got closer, but because you opened up more. I am now all around you, filling the spaces that used to be there. And this is the best way to start the closeness I'm restoring in your life. Feel this reality push you up if you want to reduce the amount of light during a long, uninterrupted night. What the storms you lived through were really just signs that I wasn't there. They were plans for what I'm about to convey to you, and how important it is. You looked at the winds that were blowing against you, and asked me why I couldn't stop them. It was strange that peace wasn't coming faster. As you watched the waves rise higher than your electricity, you went through times when the floor beneath you shook, and you thought I had let chaos swallow you up completely. But tonight I'm showing you something holy for your spirit. Those storms aren't sent to break you anymore. They've made you stronger, shaped you, and united you for greater blessings than you prayed for. If your shoulders are weak, you can't show super glory. You can't manage amazing promises with religion that hasn't been tested. You can only lead if you learn to deal with people. No longer were the storms punishments, rejections, or signs of my distance. Instead, they were learning grounds where your resilience was built. Your judgment became sharper, and your reliance on me grew. Each gust of wind that tried to break you actually made you stronger. Each wave that tried to drown you really did make you bigger. Every moment of fear that made you call me taught you how powerful it is to lean on me instead of yourself. You didn't know it then, but your typhoon season exposed the lies that had manipulated you. It made you humble in the most holy way, not to make you less important, but to keep you in place. It taught you that your energy wasn't relevant for survival. My presence was. It showed who walked with you and who comfortably stood by you when it was calm. He made my faith in you stronger, more genuine, and deeper. A religion that isn't built on comfort anymore, but on sticking with it. Tonight, I need you to see the storm the way I did. It wasn't torture. It wasn't childhood. It wasn't shattering. It was just a change. Because of what you went through, you are stronger. What you went through made you smarter. You are even more grounded now that you know what tried to pull you away. As the benefits come your way, you'll hold them with an adult sense of power, gratitude, and maturity that you didn't have before. The typhoon kept going. It was the beginning of who you are becoming. And tonight, that realization makes you want peace after the thunder. Your storms got you ready for the benefits I'm about to give you. Focus on the weight of your spirit as a whole. This night, I break the cycles that tried to repeat themselves in your mind, in your life, in your family tree, and in the way you act. It's clear that you're having positive struggles over and over again. There are patterns that feel familiar, traps that feel predictable, and emotional spirals that seem to come back every time you try to move forward. People thought your worry was the same as the worry of people who came before you. You have grappled with insecurities inherited from the words spoken over you during your youth. You battled against actions, thoughts, and relationships that appeared to reveal generational wounds. For a long time, you believed that the same stories, mistakes, and heartbreaks might be your fate. This night, though, I speak with finality and authority. You are the end of the circle. You are no longer held captive by my hard work, self-discipline, or strength. My electricity has broken down what used to hold you captive. I get rid of every cycle of defeat, every spiral of self-doubt, every pattern of worry, every loop of emotional instability, every repeated sadness, and every war that was passed down. They can't remain in the herbal realm, because I have harmed them in the spiritual realm. I distort them in your mind, so that they cannot influence the decisions you make. I destroy them to prevent them from being inherited by future generations. You felt trapped sometimes, but not because you were weak. It was because what you were fighting needed my help, not just your resistance. You were going up against old giants with new power. And tonight, I add my authority to that electricity to strengthen it. You don't have to let the chains that were on your family story stick to yours. The things you did that hurt other people won't hurt you anymore. You will no longer carry around emotional wounds that never fully healed in the people who came before you. Attacks based on religion that hurt other people will not happen to your family now. I cut every tie that doesn't help your future. You might feel the difference. You will notice that the things that used to make you happy no longer do. You will answer differently, make different choices, and write differently. You'll step right into a version of yourself that wasn't made with old styles in mind, but with new freedom in mind. You step into a generational blessing as you break those cycles. This blessing establishes new patterns of peace, stability, wholeness, and preferences for those who come after you. Tonight isn't always just the start of something. In a way, it's a moment of redefining. You're the first person in a new line of ancestors. Observe how this statement continually resonates within your spirit, akin to a fulfilled prophecy at this moment. Your loved ones have never seen, touched, or thought of the benefits you will soon get. You're not just having personal breakthroughs. You are unlocking opportunities that those who came before you could never have imagined. They wanted this land, but couldn't get it until you walked into it. You are getting the victories they prayed for, but they didn't live to see them come true. Prayers that were whispered a long time before you were born are now becoming clear to you. Your ancestors fought in battles that left them worn out. There were limitations that confined them. Structures, situations, and religious barriers have prevented them from fully fulfilling their calling. Some of them had wounds that they didn't know how to heal. Some people carried loads they didn't know how to put down. Some people had dreams that they didn't know how to pursue. And there were ceilings that they could never break through because of family history. But tonight, because of my grace, my timing, and my calling on you, you break through those walls and into new opportunities that change the limits of what's possible for your family call. At times, you've felt the weight of duty, the stress of being the only one who breaks the mold, the only one who steps forward, and the one who doesn't settle for what everyone else does. You asked yourself why your course felt tougher, your stretching felt deeper, and your inner battles felt stronger. It was because you were picked to be the one who made the change for your family, to reach those levels of blessing. You were the only person I chose to carry on the family name, to build what others couldn't, to heal what others couldn't, and to rise where others couldn't. Tonight, I bring you blessings that will change the course of your family life, including money, religious power, intellectual peace, emotional wholeness, generational balance, clarity of purpose, and divine favor. You will no longer be able to avoid having these benefits. They will follow the flow from you to your children, then to their children, and so on. You are changing the history of your family circle. As you move through the fashion stages, paths appear where there used to be walls. You are becoming the first person to walk in this level of grace, but you won't be the last. As you enjoy those benefits, keep these thoughts in mind: you are not the only one. For me, you are the base. The people who follow you will inherit what you initiate. Tonight, the blessing rests on your life, and it will continue to do so for generations to come, because you said yes to being the doorway they wanted. Feel this moment as if gentle palms were touching the soft parts of your soul. Tonight, I'll heal the cuts and scrapes you don't talk about. You learned to live with the wounds and hid the quiet pains, unable to explain them to anyone, including yourself. You've been in pain that wasn't loud but was constant. But pain that didn't ruin you made you weaker. On the other hand, aches that you didn't pay attention to made you feel tired. There were disappointments you didn't say out loud because the words were too heavy to handle. You tried to make sense of some betrayals so that you wouldn't have to deal with how they made you feel. You had moments that stayed with you long after everyone else forgot. On this night, when I visit the homes of those who have passed, I do so with care rather than pressure. I talk to the memories that hurt still. I feel the fears that grew from the hurts you tried to forget about. I talk to the feelings you've been holding in, because you thought letting them out would be dangerous. You have been through so much that no one knows how much longer you have. You've smiled through broken hearts. The time you spent getting turned down is now saved. You've been pushed forward while your heart has been barely beating. I have watched, not from afar, but from close up, which you probably didn't always understand. I saw the nights when your spirit whispered, "Lord, I don't know how much more I can handle." I witnessed the days when you maintained your composure, despite feeling as though you were disintegrating internally. During those discussions, I observed that you behaved as though everything was perfectly fine, in order to avoid troubling anyone. I saw times when your best prayer wasn't for money, success, or chances, but for comfort. And that comfort comes this night. I am healing from the wound caused by the words that hurt you. I'm getting better from the wound that the people who hurt your heart gave me. I'm getting over the bruise that the anger that made you doubt your abilities gave me. Being alone caused you to question your worth, and I'm mending the wound it left. I'm healing the wounds that failures caused you, even though they were never meant to define you. I'm fixing the wound that being alone has caused you. It was like a cold blanket wrapped around you. In your inner conversations, you'll feel me softening the places that have become hardened out of self-preservation and bringing them back to life, the parts of you that shut down just to stay alive. As restoration begins to unfold, your emotions may surface, yet they should not overwhelm you. Instead, they may lift you up. Occasionally you might cry, but that doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that the stress inside you is eventually going away. Peace will come over you like warm sunlight after a long storm. You will get stronger. You will no longer gain strength from trying too hard to be strong. Instead, you will gain strength from my healing process flowing through you. As of tonight, the bumps on your body that caused your reactions, fears, doubts, and guardedness are beginning to heal. You won't be able to go into your next season with a heart that hurts silently. I'm healing you so that you can go forward whole, honest, and fearless. Feel this like a holy wind moving through your soul's burdens. This night I offer you power in places that feel tired, worn out, and stretched beyond what you think you can handle. Your determination hides your fatigue, so no one can see how tired you are. To stay alive, you've been rushing through your tasks while secretly wondering how much longer you can keep going. You've become so accustomed to strength that you've forgotten what it means to receive care. As I speak, I draw near and bestow upon you a power that stems not from your own efforts or determination. The power that comes from me. Being tired has not meant that you have failed. It was a sign of how consistently you've kept going. You have been strong for too long. You have carried more than most people will ever understand. It was hard on your mind, spirit, and emotions to fight the battles you did. Others witnessed your resilience, but I witnessed the immense energy it bestowed upon you. This night, though, I offer you superhuman strength. Not the strength to get through every day, but the strength to push forward, rebuild, recharge, and move ahead with new strength. I give your mind strength. Strength that clears the fog of overthinking, lifts the weight of unanswered questions, and makes you more readable intellectually. Your feelings are getting stronger because of me. Power that keeps your heart steady, keeps your internal environment in check, and calms the storms inside you. I give your spirit power, energy that brings back your faith, makes you brave, and reignites the fire that your lifestyles tried to put out. I give you power, power that wakes you up from the inside out, restores your power, and gets rid of tiredness. You've been treading on empty for an extended period, attempting to replenish a depleted cup. But this evening the changes. Where there has been weakness, I find strength. I discover lightness where there has been heaviness. In places where people were tired, I felt awake. You might feel like you can breathe better, think more clearly, and stand taller. Not because the burden is gone, but because you can share it. My energy doesn't go away quickly. It sustains you for an extended period. My energy doesn't go out and on, it stays strong. My power doesn't fade, it grows stronger. This night, the fatigued areas regain their strength. This night, what wears you down turns into what makes you stronger. It provides you strength to endure through the benefits I'm giving you without breaking under their weight. Listen to the sermon with all the hope and possibility in the world in mind. You're not just entering a time of blessing. You're about to have a divine turnabout. It's not always a small change. This isn't a small change. You have been through times when it seemed like everything was against you. But this turn of events is so big that even you will look back and say, "It's best God should have done this." You had setbacks that caught you off guard. There were endings and losses that felt like they happened at the wrong time. You walked through delays that slowed you down and disappointments that made you give up. But tonight, I claim a turning point in your life, a reversal, a change of style, and a holy rerouting of everything that seemed to be going in the wrong direction. When something divine turns around and lifts you up, it used to bring you down. What used to hold you back now frees you. What was closed off to you is now open to you. Things that looked like defeat before are now the very places where victory can grow. As you enter this moment, my hand will be so close that even your foes will be unable to deny the change. This change isn't because of your strength, how you act, or your qualifications. It has everything to do with my freedom, my timing, and my will. With divine alignment, things will improve better in your relationships. You will restore connections, provide readability, break poisonous ties, and form new bonds. This event could be a turning point for your budget, with help coming from unexpected places, opportunities growing, and burdens lifting. You might see this as a win for your cause. Doors started to open that no man could break down. The road is becoming clean. There is more courage where there was once doubt. You might feel this change in your inner life. Anxiety transforms into peace. Self-confidence eliminates rid of worry. It became possible to reclaim pleasure with a strength you had forgotten existed. A divine turnaround doesn't move slowly. It starts out evolving all of a sudden. You might feel a change when you wake up tomorrow. You can go into places that feel lighter when you walk in them. You might discover information that backs up what I'm saying now. This implies that the transformation may start subtly within your spirit, mind, and posture, gradually expanding until everything aligns with the internal transformation. The season that initially disrupted your plans ultimately becomes the one that shapes you. The pain that once tried to stop you transforms into the story that ultimately makes you stronger. The delays that made you mad now show that my timing is always perfect. You step into the change you have long prayed for, hoped would happen, and wished would happen this night. That is your divine turnaround, and nothing can stop what I have already started. Feel the truth pushing up inside you with a strong force tonight. Things that used to help you start to change so that they work better for you. Events that once had the potential to shatter you now serve as stepping stones for your ascent. You've been through times when obstacles seemed impossible to get past. Mistakes were seen as planned, and resistance felt personal. You were confused about why some doors shut, some people walked away, and some options fell apart at the edge of being possible. You thought that those losses were working against your future. But this night, I'm keeping an eye on the secret planning going on behind them. Everything that seemed to be against you was actually putting you in a certain situation. It was no longer going against you. You have been told what to do. You were no longer being turned down. You were taken care of. You were no longer being held back. You were being led to something better. What you learned from fighting made you smarter. The delays you consistently made upheld your promise. The betrayals you went through made your group cleaner. The setbacks you've been through have made you smarter. Now that things are coming together, you can see how each hardship shaped you. The things that made you question your worth, your purpose, and your future are now being turned into triggers that will lift you to a higher level. You might think that beneficial losses set you back, but they really just throw you out. You might think that happy endings weaken you, but they actually strengthen you. You may think your good problems disqualified you, but they made you strong enough to handle the benefits I'm freeing you from. Not a single thing turned into waste. The pain, the waiting, the confusion, and the tears all mattered. Everything has been gathered, made fine, and used in a new way to help you rise. You're rising because of what hurts you, not because of what hurts you. Inverting the plot, the effects, and the terrible into divine momentum is what I'm doing. This is the time of year when closed doors are there to protect me. Where setbacks and failures can be considered opportunities to learn and grow, and where the attacks you survived can be considered a result of the training that made you unstoppable. What used to work against you now works amazingly well for you. The stress that once made you feel crazy now motivates you. The times that made you weak now become the things that make you walk with power. Tonight, I stand between your past and your future, promising that your pain will not be wasted. The whole thing will help your cause. You should internalize this truth from the core of your being. This evening, I will restore the faith that life, people, and events have slowly eroded in your heart. You begin to walk with a certain fire, a positive promise, and a sure trust in who you were made to be. Over the years, though, despair told lies. Failure made people wonder. Criticism hurts your sense of self-worth. The assessment took away your fun. It was almost like you didn't even notice that you were getting smaller. Your hopes, plans, and self-perception continued to diminish. You asked yourself if you were enough, if you were capable, and if you were worthy of more. This night, I talk right away to the confidence that has been hidden under years of sadness and weariness. As you said, you have been too demanding on yourself for too long. The fact that you compare your trip to other people's has made you question what I put inside you. You paid more attention to the negative voices that were speaking against you than to the truth I found inside you. You let mistakes from the past limit your ability to provide gifts. You allowed past traumas to shape your self-perception. But I want to tell you again that I did not make you shy, uncertain, or weak. You are capable, purposeful, useful, and successful because I made you. And tonight, I put my confidence back in you. I'm restoring your faith in yourself now, not just by telling you lovely things, but by showing you something. I'm giving you a glimpse of who you are within me. I tell you of the things you bring, the skills you have, the strength you've shown, and the grace that has kept you going. I remember openings that you got through, while others would have fallen through. I remind you of fights you won that seemed impossible at first. It's important to remember how strong you have been, even when you felt the weakest. You don't feel more confident because you're perfect. Your confidence increases because you are divinely ready. You'll begin to have faith in your choices again. Your discussions will become braver as a result. You'll feel confidence coming back to your prayers. You'll walk with the stance of someone who knows what they're doing, not someone who is winging it through life and hoping nothing goes wrong. Being sure of yourself again won't make you smug anymore. It will align you and cover you with the image of yourself I made from the beginning. Tonight, I'm getting rid of the names other people put on you. I shut down the lies you told yourself over and over. I take away the doubts that were getting in the way of your potential, and I lift your chin. This step isn't to boost your ego, but to remind you that you weren't meant to walk around with your head bowed. The confidence that the task is rightly yours is restored, because what I put inside you is stronger than anything that life tried to use against you. Feel like a beam of light is cutting through the scene in your mind. Every lie that has lived in your spirit for too long will be shut down tonight. You have a sports mind that wasn't given to you by me. You can plant your mind through fear, lack of confidence, trauma, reports from the past, and even the words of people who didn't understand how valuable your soul was. And the one's mind gained roots over time. They shaped how you thought about yourself, how you saw the world, and how you planned for the future. You found it difficult to think about me, not due to a lack of religious belief, but because your ideas became a source of pressure with voices unlike mine. This evening, I bring your thoughts back into line. I now align your thoughts with my truth, not with your worries, your past, or your mistakes. My reality tells me that I love you, but your mind has been telling you that I've forgotten about you. My truth is that you were picked, but you've lived with the idea that you could be replaced. My intuition indicates your strength, yet your reflections continually revert to moments when you experienced vulnerability. Your thoughts have punished you for mistakes, even long ones, through grace, even though my fact says you are forgiven. My truth says you're realistic, but your inner voice says your lifestyle is pointless. Tonight, I will confront every falsehood that has caused you uncertainty and dismantle it one by one. I'm clearing your mind of all the junk. You put off the heavy thoughts, the annoying loops, the false beliefs, and the emotional stories that were making you feel miserable. I realign your mind with facts, readability, and awareness. You will see things differently, not because times are changing, but because your perspective has changed. You'll begin to trust yourself instead of being afraid, your faith instead of having doubts, and peace instead of worry. The fog that was in your head will start to lift. It will start to lift the weight that is on your mind. The chaos that made it challenging to make choices will start to clear up. And as your mind realigns with my truth, your life starts to match it. It will be easier to see your choices. Your feelings will calm down even more. More things will happen because of your religion. You will not lie after the answer. The revelation will not happen to you. You can no longer be forced to believe lies. You will be led by truth. Tonight, I will free your mind from the stories that are holding you back and offer you back the clarity, sharpness, and balance you've been longing for. The strength of every line decreases. Your thoughts are returning to peace, purpose, and being who I say you are. Feel the truth of this moment wash over you like a holy awakening. This night, you push yourself up out of the shadow of failure. Failure tried to leave its mark on your spirit, so I'm removing it from you. You've been through times when you felt like life was constantly putting you down, where every effort to make progress was met with disappointment, and where hope felt like a fragile thing that could be broken at any time. You saw other people moving forward, while you were struggling just to stay afloat. You kept going even when things went wrong, and you started to doubt your worth, your purpose, and your calling. Slowly, defeat tried to wrap itself around you like a fog, making you think that maybe the present was all you were meant to enjoy. I tell you this tonight, though, with fierce tenderness. You have never been defeated, and you never will be. It was most likely that the shadow lingered, because you had forgotten the kindness I saw in you. Now I'm calling you out of that shadow, that weight, and that identity that don't belong to you. Remember that defeat is not the end of the story. That season was only short, but it was meant to make you stronger. I noticed the moments when you blamed yourself for things that weren't your fault. I noticed the times you felt ashamed of decisions made under pressure or confusion. I saw the nights you whispered, "Maybe I'm just no longer enough," unaware that such thoughts came from the adversary's lies, not your true nature. Tonight I put off the fake labels, the inner accusations, and the emotional bruises left at the back by past losses. I erase the narrative of failure that has been playing on repeat in your mind. I convey the truth more powerfully than the memories of failure. You will rise now not because situations suddenly change, but because you transform, your posture shifts, and your spirit awakens. Because the mildness in you becomes stronger than the shadows around you. You are being restored with a braveness that may stand even in uncertainty. You're being packed with a power that can't be shaken by using brief, demanding situations. I'm freeing you from the emotional patterns that have bound you to sadness, worry, regret, and self-doubt. And as I lift you, I announce to the entirety in Advent, this one is rising. From this night ahead, you'll move in another way, not with hesitation, but with holy confidence. As soon as you feel abandoned, you can pursue your goals. You may take steps you once felt unqualified to take. You'll communicate with the authority you failed to realize you carried. The shadow of defeat now does not define you. My presence defines you. My motive defines you. My love defines you. Tonight you push upward not as the one who failed, but as the only one who overcame. Listen. Your love is just like the sound of locks clicking open in the spirit. Tonight, I open doors that previously refused to move for you. Doorways that resisted your knocking. Doors that stay shut, even while you tangle with religion. You have stood in front of promising possibilities, only to watch them slip away. You've got to pray for a step forward in regions in which your efforts constantly hit walls. You've waited outside seemingly closed doors, wondering if you were unworthy or unprepared. However, tonight, the ecosystem round you shifts, not due to your striving, but because of my authority. What might not have opened before will now open without difficulty. What resisted will now yield. What denied you access will now welcome you. The change doesn't always happen by chance. It is my intervention. You must understand that some of the doors had been closed because the timing was misaligned. Some were closed because getting into them too quickly would have harmed you. Some have been closed due to the fact they might have led you away from your cause. But now, in this ordained moment, I align timing, opportunity, and the future so precisely that what was once inaccessible is now attainable. I open doors of favor, doors of being triumphant, doorways of wisdom, doors of healing, doorways of connection, doorways of creativity, doors of advancement, and doorways of restoration. This happens not because you pressured them, but because I've declared that this is your season of establishment. As those doorways open, you'll experience a difference. Things will drift readily rather than friction. You may walk into rooms designed for your voice. You will step into roles fashioned by your journey. You will come upon possibilities that suit you in ways you never before did. Trust that you deserve it. Realize that I had prepared it for you long before you believed you were ready. The doors I open this night aren't temporary. They are gateways for nations, pathways to the future, and doors that provide understanding beyond the current moment. And recognize this, no one can shut what I open, and no lack of confidence can close it, and no enemy can block it. Low fear can undo it. No person can take it from you. My authority guards the doorways I open. Walk into them with boldness, for you do no longer enter them alone. You enter them wearing my shoes. You input them as carrying evidence of survival. You enter them wearing the delicate strength of hidden seasons. This night, the doors that once said, now, say, yes. Sense these nights like chains falling off your ankles. Tonight I release movement in the very locations wherein you felt stuck, stagnant, or frozen via fear, confusion, or circumstance. You have carried desires that never seemed to develop. You've also been through times when everything seemed to be okay. This situation caused your spirit to feel stressed, yet it did not give you the impression that your life was progressing. In that place, you stopped trying to move, but something invisible kept you where you were. You asked yourself questions about your choices. your timing, and your thoughts. You asked if there was something you missed, if you misheard me, or if you got your calling wrong. Still, what you thought was a lack of movement turned out to be complete instruction. Now I'm breaking the silence. I break up the funk. I break through the spiritual glue that kept you close. A motion at night starts. Move your ideas around. A clear picture emerges where there was previously confusion. The proposal is intended for areas that have experienced drought. Changes in how you feel, changing chaos into peace. Being brave is different than being hesitant. Motion is what drives you, wandering around without a plan. Distractions can be eliminated through recognition. Move around in your environment. Changes. Chances. Setting up. Making changes. Move your money around. As expected, provision. Chances were restored. Resources have been released, including movement in your healing relationships, the removal of barriers, reconnection, and divine connections. There is nothing random about this motion. I am the one stirring it. You might feel the speed. You might feel the head pull. Things start to go with the flow, with a strange ease that you will notice. You might discover that you can take steps that seem too heavy at first. You'll make decisions as soon as you stop putting things off out of fear. You will be sure of yourself when you go through change instead of being nervous. Because I don't really have permission to move this night, I get the strength to move. This movement isn't always a mess. It's a terrible idea. It was done on purpose. It is truly divine. It makes more sense. It's a lot more planned. It's also right on time. You will see things from the back that you had never seen before. You were lined up. You were not caught at all. You have been getting ready. And now that the work of preparation is done, I let you go ahead and grow. Tonight, the speed of heaven moves you forward. Tonight, everything that held you back falls away. Tonight, you take action. You are no longer rushed or under a lot of pressure, but free and guided by me. Still, the season of standing is over. It's time to move around. Feel this moment as if a divine force were clearing the way ahead of you. Tonight, I break the spiritual blockade that has been stopping your progress in silence. The invisible lines made every step feel more burdensome than it should have been. You appear to have attempted to progress in areas where there are no answers. Opportunities stopped. Relationships froze. Readability went down. Plans got jumbled, and motivation dropped. Even though you pushed, something made you go back. You tried to get stronger, but something you couldn't see fought you. You also blamed yourself and thought, maybe you didn't have enough discipline, understanding, or faith. But the truth is that you haven't been fighting incompetence lately. You were having a challenging time with interference forces. It was impossible for you to see that you were stopping your future from happening. That being said, I'm going to step into the middle of that non-secular chaos tonight and clean it up with one command. Keep in mind that gridlock doesn't always mean that something has failed. It's a lot more than just an important signal. The places where you felt the most resistance were also the ones where your best intentions were strongest. The enemy doesn't fight things that don't bother him anymore. You are no longer stuck in a state of herbal. It was religious. It wasn't that you didn't have promise. Of course, competing forces knew what I was about to do to your lives and tried to stop the glide. But now, since I have the power to do so, I am removing those barriers. I dismantle the invisible barriers. I shut down every voice that is trying to argue. I break the ties that bound you to old habits, fears, and limits. With the obstacle broken, motion resumes. During this change, you'll feel a strain leaving your chest. You might notice that your thoughts are clearer. It's easier to make decisions, and your emotions are more stable. You may see divine timing working in your favor. Doors will open on their own, not because you forced them to. Nothing will stand in their way anymore. You'll go through a religious clearing, a calmness where there used to be chaos, and a fluidity where there used to be tension. In reality, I'm not giving you momentum. I'm getting rid of what was stopping you from using the momentum you already had. As the stalemate ends, you'll see that what seemed like a delay was actually a battlefield that you probably didn't even know you were on. I did fight for you, though. In places where you couldn't help yourself. I mowed the paths that your prayers touched, but your arms couldn't reach. Tonight, your progress won't feel slowed down, tangled, or fought against. You will move forward with ease, without any issues, in peace, and with power. What felt clogged before will now move. But once it's caught, it will change. But as soon as it seems impossible, it will start to spread. Tonight, there is nothing in the unseen world that can stop what I'm letting into your lives. Tools that give you a sense of destiny and bring out your inner self. Tonight, I'm going to show you a whole new way to go. One that is different from the roads you've already been on. One that leads you to the future I envisioned for you before you could even dream. You've walked during times of the year when every path seemed uncertain. There appeared to be no viable choices, and achieving clarity seemed unattainable. You tried to make your own path through your knowledge, hard work, or logic, but you kept running into the same mental, spiritual, and emotional problems. You were upset with yourself because you didn't know what to do next. You didn't realize that I was about to lead you down a non-existent path. Tonight, that direction starts to evolve to take shape now, not via human approach, but through divine orchestration. You are getting into an adventure that calls for my guidance now, not your guesswork. Worry or criticism from others will no longer shape this direction. It'll not be influenced by your past errors or your former limitations. It is carved through mountains you thought were immovable, valleys you feared strolling into, and territories you by no means imagined getting into. I am forging a path where none existed. Instead of repairing an ancient path, I am building a new one. I need you to understand that this new direction is not random. It's far more unique, intentional, and aligned with each promise spoken over your life. As I carve this path, I remove obstacles before you attain them. I clean dangers earlier than you encounter them. I offer provision before you realize you want it. I line up the right people, the right opportunities, the proper timing, and the proper environment. You'll locate doorways, starting at the precise moment they should. Now, not too early, not too late. You will discover connections forming through approaches that are orchestrated instead of unintentional. You may feel guided, not lost, supported, not stranded, and led, not wandering. And this new route calls for a new posture from you. The posture of accepting as true. Agree with that. I'm leading you even when the surroundings look unfamiliar. Consider that I am directing you, even when your feelings feel uncertain. Believe that I am defensive, even when you cannot see what is in advance. You are not moving into guesswork. You're stepping into the future. The night I monitor, the start of a path carved with the aid of my hand. This path leads you to causes, growth, healing, balance, and fulfillment. Stroll boldly along this path, as it was created specifically for you and only you. Feel this reality sweep into your thoughts, like a sparkling wind clearing a fog. Tonight I provide you with readability, in each place wherein confusion has stayed, lingered, and drained your electricity. You have wrestled with selections that felt impossible to make. You have internally gone back and forth for a long time, feeling uncertain about which path to take, unsure of whom to consider, and unclear about what was truly meant for you. Not being clear has been one of your best battles. Now, it wasn't because you weren't smart or wise. It was because spiritual interference and emotional stress made it challenging for you to find peace. But tonight, I shut down the noise. I talk an order into your head. I keep alignment in mind for you. You've been asking me for help, even though your prayers didn't sound like confident statements, but more like tired whispers. I also heard you. You asked for symptoms and signs, clarity, direction, and a promise. You asked me to show you where to walk and where not to walk. You asked me to show you what became real and what was just a dream. And tonight, I'll respond by enhancing your ability to understand and interpret your surroundings. Clarity that keeps your heart steady, helps you make positive decisions, and calms your inner storms. You may start to see people more clearly, through the lens of wisdom honed by my spirit, rather than through fear and anxiety. Your ability to discern divine opportunities from mere distractions will increase. You will be more honest with yourself about your dreams, knowing what suits you and what doesn't. You can start to pay more attention to my voice, not because I speak louder, but because things are clearer. Now that things are clearer, they won't just help with decisions. It will make sense of who you are. You'll remember who you are. You might feel at ease instead of scattered. It will feel like you're grounded instead of uncertain. You won't have any doubts about moving forward. You don't have to worry about picking out. For too long, confusion has tried to stop you from growing. Tonight, that is no longer a problem. There will be more clarity in your relationships, your job, your non-religious walk, your feelings, your habits, and your future. I provide clarity where there was doubt, confidence where there was hesitation, and peace where there was conflict. You won't feel like you're stumbling around in the dark anymore. Tonight the fog clears, the noise dies down, and I can see where I'm going. From now on, readability is your thing, and confusion will never hold you back again. As if God were tuning your inner ear, feel this moment. This night, I sharpen your non-secular hearing, so you can hear my voice over all the noise, doubt, worry, and other things that have been getting in the way of your inner peace. You have longed to be more sure about what I say. You will not find clarity through confusion, guesswork, or vague feelings. Instead, you will discover a truth that resonates deeply within you, like an anchor. You have asked me, Lord, is that you? Or is this me? You have wondered if your gut feelings were speaking from God, or just your emotions. You have to be scared to make choices without knowing what I want. Tonight, though, I turn off the music. The noise is turned off. Making my voice clear to you means that I bring your spirit into alignment with my frequency. You should know that I've been talking to you more often than you thought. I talked to you through vibes that pushed you. I talked to you through something that stopped you. I warned you through pain. I guided you through opportunities that fostered your growth and guided you through barriers that ensured your safety. I spoke to you through the Bible while you weren't even looking for answers. You could hear me through my goals, my unexpected readability, my gentle conviction, and the unexpected stillness. You were not always able to hear me. You were surrounded by noise, which made my whispers feel far away. Tonight, make that change. I improve your hearing so that you can feel my presence in small ways. Soon, You'll understand that an idea isn't always just a thought. It's a main one. An idea is not only creative, it also stimulates people thinking. When my doubt isn't fear, it's my caution. While restlessness may not always indicate anxiety, direction is crucial. But peace isn't always random. Sometimes it's a sign. Soon, you'll be able to discern my voice from your fears, insecurities, old trauma, emotional urges, and the influence of those who don't share my heart for you. As you improve at spiritual listening, you'll be more confident in your steps, knowing you're not going the wrong way. You might have faith in your discernment in ways you haven't before. Without a doubt, you'll be more aware of divine timing. My steering will feel like a steady hand on your lower back, gently pulling you forward. You won't question what I say either. You may know it as mine because it feels familiar, comforting, and it is very much mine. Listening more carefully is a gift, but it's also a duty. I teach you to listen for others, not just yourself. I improve your hearing so you can avoid pitfalls, seize opportunities, and walk in informational areas that improve your life. Your spiritual ear will wake up tonight, and you'll never again doubt that I am leading you through life. You will always pay attention to me, and that clarity will shape your every move. Feel this experience with all the seriousness and electricity it has. I'm giving you more discernment tonight because your destiny requires a deeper level of spiritual awareness than you had before. You can only take advantage of the benefits, chances, and connections I'm bringing you if you see past the surface. Not all suspicion is discernment. Being careful isn't always being paranoid. Being able to discern means seeing facts beneath what they seem to be, purpose beneath actions, risk beneath comfort, and possibility beneath uncertainty. And tonight I sharpen that skill in you in a way that will change how you handle everything that comes next. When you used the wrong voices before, it wasn't because you were stupid, but because your heart became pure. The truth is that you believed words that were not supported by honesty. You accepted people who were not in line with your purpose. You pursued paths that appeared to lead to positive outcomes, but ultimately did not. You stick yourself in situations that drain you, not because you don't understand, but because you are difficult to read. However, those who have hurt you claim that you have matured and are now preparing for this new level of discernment. Tonight, that education turns into religious accuracy. You can start to see people virtually, but not with anger, but with understanding. You will see their motives, their reasons, and how their plans align with yours. Relationships that make you feel negative about yourself won't get your attention. Receiving mixed alerts shouldn't cause you stress. Red flags that are part of your heritage won't escape your notice. You will decide quickly, as it should be, and without any trouble. You will also be better able to spot opportunities. You'll figure out which ones are from me, and which ones are just for fun. You may have a stronger sense of divine timing. You may come across doors that look appealing, but don't do anything. You can tell the difference between a chance to rise and one that drains your ability. Even more importantly, you will be a better parent to yourself. You will learn about your feelings, what sets you off, your strengths, your weaknesses, your blind spots, your callings, and your religious rhythms. You can't mix up fear with instinct or trauma with revelation. You'll tell the difference between old pain and gift truth. You might be able to tell the difference between your fears and your spirit. This long-term discernment will protect you. It will walk you through it. Misalignment won't happen. It will empower you to make choices that maintain your tranquility and assist you in achieving your objectives. I'm mentioning it now because you're moving into a season where you can't just choose based on looks. You have to choose based on what you've learned. Tonight, that revelation is what makes you who you are. Feel this as if a warm blanket were falling over your shoulders. This night, I choose to be close to you again. Want something that opens doors, changes atmospheres, and brings blessings that common sense can't explain. You've been through times when you didn't feel like you wanted anything, when the work wasn't worth it, when your hard work seemed to be ignored, and when progress felt slow and random. You wondered if desire had left you, if your time had passed, and if you had not been seen as someone destined for growth. But tonight, I'm getting rid of that doubt by bringing a new wave of style into your lives. You haven't always made this choice before. It's much deeper, heavier, stronger, and more powerful. It's not just giving us options anymore. The right opportunities arise because of it. It doesn't really open doors. It lets you into rooms that you thought were always locked. You're not just seen because of it. It puts you in a divine position. You will find yourself in rooms you didn't ask to be in, but were ready for. You might encounter invitations you didn't mean to look for, but were meant to receive. People will know how valuable you are before you even say a word. Sparkling likes it when things change for you without you having to do anything. Things depend on your course. When delays happen, they speed up. Problems turn into stepping stones. Conversations lead to big steps forward. What was hard turns out to be easy. Heavy things will become light. What doesn't happen on time is added. This favor is no longer yours because you are perfect. It comes because of what I'm doing. You will quickly notice changes. People who eventually took note of you may suddenly have to pay interest. Thoughts that appear to be stagnant will emerge. Paths that appeared obstructed will reveal themselves. The relationships will line up. They'll get what they need as they go. The answers will show up. This isn't a strange turn of events. That's much stranger than choosing to unfold. This favor won't go away either. It is not weak. It's not always dangerous. It won't go on and off, depending on how you feel or what's going on. I use my hand to set up, anchor, and protect this prefab. It will help you make business decisions, deal with family issues, grow spiritually, start new businesses, make economic breakthroughs, get better personally, and build relationships. No matter where you go, desire will speak for you, would rather move ahead of you. You will be surrounded by desire. Which one you choose will depend on whether you want a visible sign that I'm there. Tonight is the start of a time when you don't have to look for blessings. Benefits come after you. No longer do you beg for chances. Opportunities come to you. You don't force doors to open. Doors open because of the choices I've found in your lives. From now on, you can walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that heaven has skewed their path. A sparkly favor is on you. There's no denying it. It can't be stopped by anything, and it's a long way from yours. Feel this truth move through your spirit like a wave of holy fire. This night, I'm launching benefits that will bring me a lot of glory. Good things that last. Pros that don't go away. These benefits are long-lasting and persistent. Benefits that will change the way you live for a long time. You've been blessed earlier than most people, but many of them have been light, temporary, and seasonal. They were meant to keep you alive for a short time, not change you for good. But this night I'm feeling something different. These blessings are deep, last a long time, serve a purpose, and carry a supernatural weight. These blessings make me real, give me electricity, and leave my fingerprints. They'll change the mood around you, raise your profile, and change the way your adventure goes. You prayed for a breakthrough, but tonight I give you more than that. Blessed by glory, I come up with them. You have prayed for boom, and tonight I give it to you with persistence. You have prayed for solutions, however. This night I come up with revelations, so profound they reshape the way you see your existence. You have prayed for doorways to open, however. This night I open doorways that deliver generational impact. You have prayed for choices, however. Tonight I am launching desires that will alter the religious landscape around you. The present isn't like a blessing. This is not an informal blessing. This is a weighted blessing. The kind that changes testimony, breaks chains, elevates destiny, and multiplies has an impact. These benefits will bring relaxation to your existence in a way that even others will observe. They will see the shift in your voice, your confidence, your posture, and your peace. When you enter the room, the glory resting on you will no longer be silent, giving them a unique experience. It'll announce itself. It will draw divine connections. It'll repel what is not meant for you. It'll open doors without you knocking. It will close doorways without you asking. You may no longer need to try, prove, or force your way ahead. The burden of my glory on you will do the lifting. And understand this: my glory does not come to enhance your life. It comes to transform it. It will alter how you think, the way you talk, how you dream, and how you pass. It'll increase your ability to hold benefits you once felt unprepared for. It'll provide a boost to your spirit in opposition to attacks that destabilize you. It's going to awaken spiritual presences that have slept inside you. It'll ignite boldness where fear once lived. It'll enlarge your reason and make clear your course. Tonight, benefits with substance, blessings with permanence, and benefits with spiritual weight settle upon you. These are not advantages you may lose. Those are not blessings so as to slip away. Those are blessings anchored in heaven and assigned to your name. This is the weight of my glory, and it rests on you currently. Since this moment, unseen hands have been rearranging the people around your destiny. Tonight I ship divine connections into your existence. Individuals who are assigned for your journey, aligned along with your purpose, and prepared to walk with you into the season you're entering. You've got to walk by myself in ways others no longer recognize. You've carried matters without help, navigated storms without guidance, healed from wounds without consolation, and pressed forward without the encouragement you long for. But this night, I trade your relational landscape. I carry into your existence the right voices, the proper hearts, the proper minds, and the right souls. Humans divinely placed to strengthen, uplift, and accompany you on this new bankruptcy. You have recognized the ache of misplaced connections. You have experienced relationships that drained you, distracted you, discouraged you, or delayed your progress. You trusted people who were not equipped to handle your coronary heart. You leaned on those who could not preserve your weight. You listened to voices that did not convey my no. How? And some of the isolation you felt changed into safety. It became safety. I removed people who couldn't walk with you to where you're going. I created distance where there was misalignment. I neared doors to relationships that might have sabotaged your future. But now, I launch new connections, country connections, because your spirit is healed and your discernment is elevated. These are folks that will understand your fee, not resent it. These are people who will encourage your dreams instead of questioning them. Those who pray for you now will not prey on your vulnerability. People who will inspire you and enhance your life, rather than deplete your energy. Those who will sharpen you, venture with you, and walk beside you in purpose. Those are people whose presence will feel like peace, whose words will sound like readability, and whose support will feel like strength. They will now not compete with you. They'll complement you. They may not confuse you. They may verify you. They may no longer discourage your calling. They may help prompt it. You may recognize them by the manner in which your spirit responds to something, and you'll apprehend my hand in the relationship. You may sense alignment now, not anxiety. You will feel peace now, not strain. You will sense expansion, no longer restricted. And those divine connections are not brief. They're functional and well-timed. A few will mentor you. Some will partner with you. Some will walk along with you. Some will release opportunities. A few will speak destiny into you. Some will love you with a depth of affection that you have never experienced before. Tonight, I launch people designed to elevate your life. You will now not walk on your own in this new season. Divine connections are arriving, and they may be arriving with cause. Approach this fact with courage and take action to address it. This night, I remove the relationships that have tired you, discouraged you, or distracted you, and I amplify the connections that could potentially align with your destiny. You've held on to humans out of loyalty, history, worry of loneliness, or the wish that they might trade. You have tolerated connections that weakened your spirit, conversations that dimmed your light, and interactions that left you feeling empty instead of uplifted. You remained in certain relationships longer than your heart could find peace. You repeatedly gave opportunities to people who were not willing to grow. Because your heart is kind, you often confuse compassion with genuine connection. I resolve issues at night that you were unable to address. I free you from relationships that drained your energy, made you hard to read, or stressed your heart. I cut soul ties that are based on pain, duty, guilt, or trauma. I take away people whose presence in your lives has become temporary and no longer permanent. I remove alignments that were getting in the way of your growth. I also restore your religious and emotional boundaries, allowing you to determine who truly belongs in your life and who does not. This technique is not always being turned down. It is a divine rebalancing. At the same time, I make every date better so that it stays. I believe in connections that are based on love, loyalty, and purpose. I bring new life to friendships that have the potential to grow stronger. I fix communication problems where misunderstandings try to split people apart. I stand up for relationships that help you follow your calling, find peace, and have fun. You will be aware of being clear. It's clear that some relationships will end. Some of them will suddenly go away, and some will suddenly grow. Don't worry about these shifts anymore. They're answers to prayers you forgot you said. With every relationship choice I make, I'm protecting your future. You can't just walk into the next level while carrying the weight of people who aren't aligned. Some people were focused on your wounds rather than your healing. Some have been linked to your past, not your future. Some people liked having you around, but they weren't interested in what you were trying to do. And letting go may hurt at first, but it will give your heart freedom, strength, and new energy. And for the connections that I want to last, I strengthen them like woven cords. They will make things stable. They will show support. They will bring happiness. They might help you remember that you're not alone. They can walk with you into the benefits I'm letting you know about. Tonight, I clear your relationship space, help you let go of things that drain you, and bring back things that make sense for you. and get your heart ready for connections that will nourish your future. Feel this truth. Fill your spirit with wish and holy expectation. This night, I bless the pictures your fingers have made in a way that goes beyond human logic, timing, and confusion. You've worked hard during times when the result didn't seem worth it, when the harvest felt late, and when your work went beyond what you got in return. You have taken on many responsibilities that were too much for you. You put your energy into dreams that seemed to grow slowly, and you did your best even when no one praised or noticed. I have seen it all, though. It took faith to try, sacrifice, and plant a seed every hour, even when you were tired. Tonight, I am placing a powerful blessing over your hands, ensuring that what once yielded little will now yield a great deal. What quickly became a source of frustration will now bring happiness, and things that seem to be standing still will now be moving at an incredible speed. You should understand that when I bestow my blessing upon the art you create with your fingers, I also breathe upon what you have touched. I make what you plant grow. I support what you build. I speed up what you're after. I keep what you're responsible for stable. There will be no trouble at all letting your thoughts drift. Things are falling into place more clearly, and work that used to drain you will now fuel you. The spiritual atmosphere around your work is changing because of me. It will be possible to work together where there was resistance before. There will now be plenty where there was none before. There will now be grace where there was war. And I'm not blessing your arms in part anymore. I'm blessing them over and over and protecting everything you put your heart into. This includes aspects such as your career, your projects, your ministry, your dreams, your responsibilities, your creativity, and even the passions you've been hesitant to pursue. Don't judge the future by what may happen in the past. Don't count on that anymore. If something was hard before, it should stay hard. My blessing changes things up. My blessing changes things. My blessing changes things in places that are already there. Painting will make you feel positive about yourself, because you'll know you're not working alone. You can start working on things with new energy, because I'm strengthening your skills. Because my hand is on you. You will be brave when you go after opportunities. Ideas, work, and progress may flow through you in ways that even you don't understand. Tonight, I make your arms holy. Hands that have dried tears, carried heavy loads, taken care of others, and built quietly in the dark. Now, I bestow upon them a blessing of boom, effect, excellence, and effects that surpass all expectations. This blessing will last forever. It'll follow you in every room, every choice, and every challenge. From tonight on, what you contact will change. What you build will last, and what you plant will grow better. Your arms have been blessed, and this blessing will change everything. Feel this spiritual surge as if it were a divine spark. Tonight, I bring you new ideas, courage, and chances that fit with the path I'm calling you to take. You have to feel the stirring for more reason, more creativity, more effect, and more direction. But you often ignored it, thinking that maybe I was just imagining things. It could also be that now is not the right time. But that stirring led to me awakening something in you and preparing your heart for what I'm about to tell you. Your ideas were once like sparks, but worry, doubt, or uncertainty snuffed them out. Opportunities have been beckoning to you, but you would rather not do it because, in addition to being disappointed, it made you wonder if you can really start something new. This evening, I take away your doubt and offer you courage, a bravery that sparks your ideas and puts you in a position to take advantage of divine opportunities. There will be new ideas, not ideas or thoughts that were borrowed or used before. These aren't copied thoughts, but unique visions that come from deep inside you. There are ideas that make things better, ideas that solve problems, ideas that bless others, and ideas that leave a legacy. You will be able to let these thoughts flow freely, because I am awakening creative parts of you that have been dormant until now. In ways you haven't felt in years, you may feel inspired. When you wake up, you'll be clear. It will put you to sleep with revelation. You will feel like you have a plan when you used to be confused. But my ideas aren't enough on their own. Along with that, I give you courage, being brave to start, willpower to try. You must be willing to take risks. Courage to believe what I say, even though you can't see the whole picture. Have the guts to explore possibilities that are bigger than your comfort zone. Fearlessness that pushes worry to the past. The kind of bravery that shuts down the voice of inadequacy. Courage that lets you into rooms you thought were off limits. And with ideas and courage, I can now see more possibilities in the area than you do. Open doors that are perfectly shaped for the person you have become. You won't have to try or compete for those doors anymore. They will understand how well you have prepared, how honest you are, and how patient you are. Surprising people will lead to some possibilities. Some people will come out of quiet times of faithfulness. Some of them will show up in ways you didn't expect. They may arrive in various forms and be quite simple. Tonight, you start a new season where divine timing is in line with creativity, bravery, and possibility. You'll know what to do next. I can also show you. You won't have to worry about moving into it anymore. I can give you a boost. You will no longer wonder whether you belong or not. There is already space for you. This night, I unlock pathways of contemplation, bravery, and comprehension. This gently awakens something deep within you. Tonight, I awaken the latent gifts within you. Situations that made you feel insufficient have silenced the gifts that time and worry have buried. There are things you can do that you haven't used in years. You may have forgotten some of your strengths. There are skills you didn't use because other things in your life required your attention. Some spiritual gifts have been ready to come out for a long time, but they have been waiting for the right time. And that season begins to change tonight. Some aspects of your being have become dormant due to the burdens of duty, disappointment, or being in survival mode. I wake them up. I bring back passion where exhaustion used to rule. I bring back creativity where there was once only sadness. I bring back bravery where there is a lack of it. As soon as lies are whispered, your gifts are still there. They really did go to sleep. But dormant is still alive. Dormant is all set. The dormant state is kept. It is covered until the right time to go dormant. And tonight I call those things to your attention. You will feel ideas coming back to you. You might want to grow again. Your calling, not just your comfort, will guide your new goals and dreams. You won't forget the goals you gave up on. In places where you used to feel numb, you'll feel a new fireplace. There is no emotional hype behind this awakening. It's not even close to divine activation. There are things you have that help with management, compassion, creativity, skill, discernment, conversation, impact, strategy, recovery, encouragement, and more. Gifts that are uniquely you and have a purpose. You've been given gifts to help other people. Items designed to help you gain access to opportunities. Gifts that will make your future better. Presents that are meant to show who you really are. You won't be shy when you walk in with those gifts either. You should be able to walk in them. Because of tonight, I let go of the worry of being judged, the fear of failing, the fear of being rejected, and the worry of not being good enough that was getting in the way of your ability. While some gifts will come out slowly, others will all at once. Some will come back like old friends. Some will surprise you with new power, but everyone will wake up with a plan. You might feel alignment, power, and excitement at the same time they do. You'll stop putting yourself down. You won't keep quiet anymore. You won't hide your ability to keep other people safe. Your gifts are rising tonight, and so are your identity, your cause, and your destiny. Those gifts are reawakening for a reason. They're waking up again because the world, your family, your calling, and your future all want what I put inside you. You will now walk as a strong, awake, and fully alive person. Feel like a divine call is resonating through the deepest parts of your spirit right now. Tonight, I'm calling you to where you belong, into the identity, authority, and drive that have always been yours but were buried for years by doubt, fear, and being led in the wrong direction. You stood on the edges of your future for too long, watching others move into their destinies while you wondered if you were good enough to move into yours. You have put yourself down by lowering your standards, your expectations, and your voice. You have also believed the lies that told you to live small, quietly, or badly. But tonight, I will confront every idea that holds you back, every addiction that makes you weak, and every deep-seated lack of confidence. And I will tell you to take your rightful place. You don't need titles, accomplishments, or other people's approval to be in the area I'm calling you to. Reason is used to define it. With the help of the authority I put in your life, long before you ever felt heartbreak or disappointment, your purpose is much clearer. You were made with a purpose. You have been stressed in a way that is divine. You provide people a weight in their spirits that no one else can. Even if life has made you doubt your worth, I want to remind you of who you are tonight. Something inside you will start to change, like your posture, your confidence, and your willingness to take up space. After this, you won't walk around with your head down anymore. You can no longer talk about your wants in an apology-filled way. You won't rule yourself out of opportunities I set up for you anymore. You were always meant to be here, not because you earned it or figured it out. Your place should be one of energy, not timidity. A clear area, not one that is confusing. Not an inaccessible place, but a place with power. There should be someone in charge, not a place of fear-based silence. It is a place where non-secular authority reigns, not spiritual passivity. You have to live through too much to keep following your calling any further. It's been through storms, trials, and pain that you've grown up. You have the character you need now, because of everything you went through. I now give you the confidence, courage, and conviction to stand where your destiny awaits. Flow like a person you've chosen from now on. Talk like a person who is known as. Walk like you were hired. You are moving closer to where you belong, and you will never go back to the shadows you used to hide in. Listen to the song with the weight of your honor, returning to your spirit. I restore honor to your name tonight. Life attempted to steal your honor. Events sought to stain it, and people tried to damage it. You've been through times when people misunderstood your popularity, your intentions, your character, or your beyond were used against you, or when false stories were based on who you are. It was not your fault that you had to carry the weight of shame. That guilt never became yours. You felt humiliated because of things you learned, but were still punished for. That being said, tonight I'm going to fix the honor that was lost. stolen, or given up in war by touching the very core of who you are. Honor isn't always about how other people see you. It's a lot more about how God sees you. And heaven no longer sees you through the lens of what you did wrong. Heaven no longer views you through the lens of your worst mistakes or weakest moments. Heaven sees you through the lens of forgiveness, growth, strength, and purpose. Some people may have also remembered you for who you were. But tonight, I fix my respect for the person you have become and the person you are still becoming. What went wrong doesn't make you who you are. What makes you unique is the strength it took to get back up. I restore honor by stopping people from saying bad things about you. When I heal the wounds that made you question your worth, I restore your honor. I restore honor by getting rid of the shame that was attached to your memory. I restore your honor by putting you in places where you were once overlooked. I restore honor by defending you when you are wrongly judged. To restore honor, I bring the truth to the surface. Even if the truth was buried under rumors, assumptions, or misunderstandings, you will notice this healing in the way people treat you, the way opportunities find you, the way conversations change to focus on your needs, the way recognition comes back, the way readability comes back, and the way your dignity rises again. Because honor isn't always on the outside. It's very much on the inside. I help you love yourself again. I help you believe in yourself again. I want you to believe again that you deserve love, forgiveness, redemption, and respect. Tonight, I wash away the dirt from your past and give you new honor. The industry may also remember your mistakes, but I'm focusing on your growth. The world may remember your worst moments, but I remember your best ones. Even though the sector may keep going because of your mistakes, I enjoy seeing how you change. Your call will once again be respected, not because other people agree with it, but because I said so. Think of this as a holy shift, going into every unfair part of your story. I bring justice to the places where you were hurt, ignored, betrayed, mistreated, or used without permission this evening. Unfair things have happened to you that have broken your heart, made you think, and made you wonder why certain things are allowed to happen. You kept going through things you didn't deserve. You dealt with outcomes of choices that were not your own. You suffered emotionally because someone else was too young. At times, you had to be defended while you suffered in silence. You also had to deal with unfairness long after the people who caused it forgot. Tonight, though, I'm going to those places myself, but this time with justice instead of anger. To be fair, I have to correct what went wrong. I fix what was stolen. I make what was torn down stand up again. I bring back what was lost. I strengthen things that were weak. I clear up what was wrongly understood. The law doesn't erase your story. It improves it. Justice no longer inflicts pain on those who have injured you. It takes away their power over you. Justice now seeks balance, not revenge. It restores what is out of alignment to its rightful divine order. You may think that justice is late, but I want to remind you that justice is perfect for me right now. I saw every hidden second. In the back of your head, I heard every word you said. In the back of closed doors, I saw every lie, every betrayal, every unfair outcome, and every tear. And even though you wondered if I had seen, I saw this evening that justice has been building up, quietly, in the background, ready to break out at the exact moment that it will bring you the most healing and peace. For you to see justice, chances will come back to you. Doors that were unfairly shut will open. Relationships will be fixed or changed. Truths will come to light, and peace will return to your heart. As you grow stronger, the pains you once felt will be quickly forgotten. Justice doesn't mean that the people who did wrong are destroyed. It comes up to you refreshed. Karma doesn't always work in a fair way. Your current approach to justice does not reflect the outcomes of other people's choices. Justice is how I lift your burden and put you back in a place where you can be whole. Tonight, I will declare that every wrong that has caused you pain will now be documented in an affidavit. Everything that was wrong with you will now be right for you. Now, every tear will turn into strength. Now, every season of unfairness will end with beauty. Justice is not on the way. It's miles away right now. And it starts tonight in the deepest parts of your story, bringing harmony, rest, healing, and divine correction. Feel this moment as if a calm wind were blowing through the middle of you. I give you peace tonight, peace that calms down storms. This is a peace that has the power to soothe and tranquilize. Peace has the ability to reach places that no other entity has ever been able to. You have been feeling uneasy for so long that it has become normal. Your mind has been going fast. Your emotions were stretched thin. And your heart was heavy with things you didn't ask for, but had to carry anyway. To calm down, you tried to talk to yourself. You tried to obtain rid of your worry by doing something else. You tried to shut your mind off, just like you would on any other day. But none of it gave your soul the deep peace it has been longing for. So this night, I'm not just coming in to give you temporary comfort. I'm coming in to give you supernatural peace that fills your whole being. This peace doesn't change based on what's going on. It doesn't depend on other people anymore. It's no longer based on your ability to figure things out. My peace doesn't use your mind. It goes straight to your spirit. It goes to places where fear has been present for too long. It blocks out the noise that keeps you from sleeping. It calms down the chaos that's been going through your mind. Peace doesn't mean there is no trouble. Peace is having me with you. And tonight I present you myself. You might feel it as a soft, warm feeling on your chest, as tension melting away from your shoulders, or as heaviness letting go of your mind. You might feel your heart beat more slowly, your mind clear, and your breathing become deeper. Why? Since peace isn't an idea, it feels as if you're in a state of pure bliss. And I'm pouring it all over you like water over a worn soul. This is the kind of peace that assures your fears that they have no power over your life. Peace tells them their worries can't hold on anymore. Peace that tells you your doubts, they need to line up with what I said I would do. Tonight, I bring peace to every place where you felt chaos. Bring peace into your own home. Let peace come into your relationships. Peace in the choices you make. Peace in your budget. Bring peace into your body. Peace to you in the future. You can bring peace to the memories that hurt you even as you think about them. You've been wrestling with questions, choices, and fears about what will happen next in peace this whole time. This peace won't go away quickly. It's not going to fade when things change. It will no longer weaken when storms arise. It is enduring, strong, sustaining, and powerful. And because it settles into your spirit, you may start to make selections from a place of clarity instead of confusion. You will reply from peace in place of panic. You'll flow through your days with calm warranty rather than emotional exhaustion. That is my present to you this night. This deep, lasting, unshakable peace will transform your internal environment. Allow this fact to wash over you like a blanket settling gently over your weary soul. This night, I come up with relaxation. This is no longer just a mere act of sleep, nor merely a cure, but a genuine state of relaxation that penetrates the deepest parts of your being. You have slept but woken up tired. You have been laid down but found no healing. You have paused, however. You have never virtually felt recharged. Even when your frame rested, your mind did not. Even when your eyes were closed, your spirit wrestled. Even when the sector quieted, your mind grew louder. This struggle has been greater than exhaustion. It has been religious fatigue, emotional depletion, mental heaviness, and bodily pressure. However, tonight, I lay my relaxation upon you in a manner you have not felt in years. Rest is greater than sleep. It's a sacred recalibration in miles. It is a divine reset. It's miles of quiet in the internal storms. You can't discover it through distraction or escape. It comes from me. I deliver relaxation to places that haven't stopped transferring. I calm the internal battles you have been fighting in silence. I soothe the grief you may not have recognized as a catalyst for growth. I restore the energy you expended while trying to appear strong for everyone else. Tonight I bring you rest that settles deep into your bones, into your mind, into your emotions, and into your soul. You will sense the difference. Your chest will feel lighter. Your shoulders will launch the tension they've been holding. Your mind will gradually calm down from its constant swirl. Your emotions will release themselves from the tangles they have become entangled in. Discomfort will now definitely not place your body to sleep. It's going to restore your humanity. You have carried enough. You've fought enough. You've driven yourself to be self-sufficient. Now I inform you to rest. You rest no longer due to the fact the world is best, but because I am a gift. Your relaxation is not due to the fact every query is replied to, but rather due to the fact I am on top of things. Your relaxation does not result from completing your journey. Rather, it stems from your need for energy for the next part of it. Rest resets your spirit. Relaxation renews your vision. Rest strengthens your coronary heart. Relaxation offers you the potential to walk into a blessing without collapsing underneath its weight. This night, I lift the burdens that kept you conscious at night. I silence the internal noise that made your mind restless. I quiet the fears that haunted you when everything else around you was calm. I offer you relaxation that sinks into the innermost layers of your being. This is the kind of rest that heals, refreshes, restores, and revives you from the inside out. Sleep will comply, peace will observe, and renewal will comply. However, it starts off with this divine relaxation pouring into your soul this night. Feel this truth settle over you with holy reassurance. This night, I painted miracles for you while you slept. Miracles you cannot provoke. You cannot strategize for miracles. Miracles can't be manufactured through attempts or plans. You have carried a lot of pressure on your shoulders. You hold the belief that everything hinges on your choices, timing, strength, and overall performance. However, some miracles do not occur simply because you exert pressure. They come because of your relaxation. Some breakthroughs do no longer happen when you attempt them. They appear while you surrender. Some answers do not emerge when you search. They come when you sleep. Tonight, while your body rests and your thoughts quiet, I am transferring. I'm shifting situations in your favor. I am orchestrating divine alignments. I am touching hearts that impact your subsequent season. I'm commencing doors in realms you can't see. I'm doing away with boundaries you no longer know exist. I am reversing decisions that have been made to your disadvantage. I am guiding conversations with the intention to bless you. I am getting ready assets, possibilities, and instructions you'll need at the exact second you wake. You worry about the details of how things will happen. but it is my responsibility to handle those details. You may be concerned about the duration, but I control the timing. You worry approximately about the strategy, however, I'm crafting paths you have not even imagined. This night, I painted behind the curtain with precision, adjusting, lining, healing, restoring, and getting ready. You may fall asleep with uncertainty, but you will not wake up the same. You may wake up lighter. You will wake up steadier. You'll wake up understanding something shifted, even if you cannot yet see what change. This process is my manner of showing you that your step forward isn't dependent on your exhaustion. It's far dependent on my intervention. I do not want you to push harder. I need you to consider deeper. You don't need to do anything else. Heaven is working even when you are quiet and asleep, so I want you to rest in that truth. So tonight, let go of all your worries. Start each fear. Start all of your what-ifs. Allow yourself to take a break. Taking it easy doesn't always equate to giving up. It's not lined up at all. I paint while you sleep. I move while you dream. While you rest, I'll get ready. Tonight is the night of miracles. Not with your hands, but with mine. And when morning comes, you'll know that heaven has been busy working for you. This should make you feel like a wave of heavenly bravery is rising inside you. Tonight, I'm going to break the fear that has been wrapping around your thoughts, choices, identity, and future. You've been hearing worry for years, sometimes quietly, and sometimes aggressively. They try to convince you that you aren't worthy enough, that your dreams are too big, that the future is too messy, and that your fate is too uncertain. You've tried to avoid fear, shut it down, and not think about it. It is thought to find its way back into the cracks in your confidence, though. But tonight, something changes. This night, I deal with my worry right away. They do this not by telling you to be strong on your own, but by giving you courage that fear can't stand. You have made more decisions because of worry than you know. You were afraid and didn't move when you should have. You slowed down out of fear when you were supposed to stand tall. Your fear made you doubt what I had already told you. Stress made you think too much about things I had already decided. Because you were afraid, you thought the worst would happen. When you were worried, you hid yourself so well that even beneficial things had a difficult time getting to you. But worry isn't who you are. It's by no means your enemy. And tonight I took away its power over your life. You will start to feel your fear gradually dissipate. The thoughts that previously caused anxiety will gradually diminish. You will encounter situations where you no longer feel threatened after being beaten up. Insecurities that seemed like facts at the time could turn out to be lies. I'm changing how you watched. This will give your mind peace, your heart self-confidence, and your spirit the ability to read. Worry used to hold you back, but religion will now guide you. Fear used to stop you, but now bravery will move you forward. Where fear used to keep you quiet, bravery will now rise up inside you like a fire. A lot of the time, worry hides itself in different forms, like being careful, smart, or humble. That being said, you'll recognize its voice now and know it's not mine. My voice doesn't stop me. No longer does my voice punish. My voice is not a shame. My voice provides me strength, freedom, and power. You will begin to notice the difference this evening. Failing will no longer make you afraid, because it will not damage your identity. If you walk with confidence, you won't have to worry about what other people will think. Knowing that you're not alone eliminates the fear of falling behind. You won't have to worry about what you don't know, because you'll follow my advice. You won't be afraid to start over, because each step will make you feel my strength. Tonight, fear doesn't have as much power. You no longer feel fear, not just because you have mastered it, but also because I am present and I make it too strong. From now on, you can make decisions based on religion instead of fear, on readability instead of panic, and on truth instead of lies. The worry power is gone tonight, and it won't come back for you. This truth ignites a powerful force within you, similar to the feeling of fire on your bones. I give you the strength to do the things you've been putting off because of fear, doubt, weight, or uncertainty tonight. You've put off conversations, refused to make choices, ignored calls, and missed opportunities because something inside you said, "Not yet. I'm not ready." But tonight, I silence that doubt. I give you the courage to do the things your spirit has been pushing you to do. But your fear has been stopping you. You avoided positive steps, not because you didn't believe they were true, but because you doubted yourself. You were uncertain about your potential, your timing, and your readiness. You were afraid of what other people might think. You were afraid of failing, succeeding, and being obligated. You were afraid of being vulnerable. But deep down you knew those steps were necessary for your future. You felt the pull, heard the whispers, and heard the calling. But you didn't have the courage to act on it. Tonight, I bring that courage right to your heart. Courage isn't always the lack of fear. It's not always the decision to move, no matter the fear. Tonight, courage comes into your spirit like electricity to a tired warrior. You'll find yourself asking, "Am I brave enough to try this?" It's not always ego. It's not in alignment. You will feel a holy push where worry used to cause resistance. You might feel a proposal is doubtful as soon as it makes you wonder. You will be sure of what you believe that confusion is as soon as you live it. There are steps you've been looking forward to. We are taking steps to heal, forgive, and be honest with each other in our relationships. We are also taking steps toward a sense of purpose, career advancement, new environments, long-awaited goals, and obedience that your spirit has been longing for. And you can't put off what I have planned for you tonight. The fear of starting down goes away. The fear of failing goes away. The fear of being seen gets less strong. You are no longer allowed to stand at the threshold. You are going to move forward. It will feel like heaven is pushing you forward after you take a step. You're not walking by yourself. I walk with you. I leave before you do. I make you stronger. I usually see you. This night, bravery will be with you. Being brave will be your driving force. You will be known by your courage. And the things you used to avoid quickly become the ones that take you to the next level. Feel this company floor, building up below your spirit like a second home. Tonight, I firmly plant your feet so that you won't fall. No matter what winds blow, what storms come up, or what difficult situations try to shake you, you've been through times when you didn't know where you stood, when you questioned every choice you made, when relationships were uncertain, when situations changed quickly, and when your emotions went back and forth between hope and doubt. You tried turning around to face forward, but the floor felt rough, shaky, and unstable. But tonight I'm giving you something special. You will experience a sense of stability, anchoring, and non-secular grounding that is impervious to external events. When I position your toes, I ensure they are not only stable, but also properly aligned. I promise you that. You will become true to yourself, confident in your identity, certain about your direction, and inspired by the future that lies ahead. You might not even be aware that your life is getting a little more balanced. Not anymore will you feel like one sudden second could undo all your progress. Feelings and situations will no longer toss you around. I had a firm, safe, and hopeful plan for you. You will be firm in who you are and not let reviews, rejection, or evaluations shake you. There will be other people who share your faith, and fear or confusion will no longer shake you. You can be firm in your choices and not let overthinking or second thoughts become in the way. You will have someone to converse with during your healing process, and past injuries will no longer trouble you. You'll remain steadfast in your reasoning, even if delays or distractions arise. This stability is inside. It's miles inside. It's religious. It comes from the strength I gave you during each hurricane you lived through. You thought the storms were going to destroy you, but they were actually making your foundation stronger. You thought the shaking was going to break you, but it ended up shaking off everything that was weakening your roots. Tonight, the ones with deep roots, you might feel like your emotions are getting better. There will be a significant decrease in chaos and an increase in peace. It will be in your mind. Less confusion and more understanding. You'll feel it for the choices you make. A lot less doubt and more confidence. It will show up in your relationships. Your relationships will experience less shaking and more alignment. You might feel it in your spirit. Less fear and more faith. I firmly establish your boundaries, ensuring that nothing can push you beyond your true self. You may now not be effortlessly swayed. You won't be able to avoid getting down anymore. You won't be able to become distracted as easily. You'll have trouble being shaken up from now on. Tonight, I plant you firmly in your direction, your strength, your identity, and your purpose. Things I anchor can't be moved. What I hold steady can't be moved. This night, your feet are set, and you can stand firm in what I'm calling you to do. This moment feels like a heavy cloak is being taken off your shoulders. Tonight, I'm getting rid of the load of expectations that was never yours to carry. The pressure to always be right, to never fail, and to keep everything together. To always meet the expectations that other people had of you. It's been years since you didn't feel the weight on your feet. People expect you to maintain your strength and composure, even in the face of exhaustion and inner turmoil. Even when you found yourself in need of someone to rely on, you were expected to be the reliable one. You have had to cope with other people's criticism, needs, and ideas about what kind of person you should be. Even though you've tried to live it all, it's slowly taken away your strength, made you less happy, and changed how you see yourself. But tonight, I'm going to stop all of that. I'm getting rid of things that didn't belong to you in the first place. Your purpose in life was not to live up to other people's expectations. Your purpose was to follow my direction, timing, reason, and voice. Over the course of the journey, you started to define yourself by what other people wanted instead of who you really are. You've made things harder for yourself because you thought failure was no longer acceptable. Why did you hide your problems? Because you were afraid of being judged. Your heart was begging you to say no, but you said yes anyway. You pushed yourself too far by trying to be everything for everyone else, while ignoring the parts of you that needed relief, honesty, and relaxation. Tonight, I break the chains of other people's amazing performance, the need to be perfect, and emotional stress. I shut down the expectations that keep your own wants from coming through. I feel the guilt you felt every time you let someone down. I heal the stress you felt when you tried to meet standards unrelated to your calling. You are not responsible for the pleasurable desires that other people put on you. You are free from living a life shaped by stress instead of logic. There is no responsibility on you for carrying emotional weights that are not yours. As I let go of these worries, you may feel like you can breathe again. You might feel lighter, clearer, and more grounded. Your heart will find its natural rhythm again. Instead of expectations, your identity will line up with reality. You might develop the courage to set limits, say no, without feeling negative about it, and choose what makes you happy over what makes you stressed. You will prioritize your health, not out of selfishness, but because you are following my plan. Tonight, you get in touch with your true self, free from the weight of expectations that are too high. You'll walk into your destiny completely honest, sure of yourself, and with high hopes for the journey. The steps that will shape your path may be the ones I whisper to your soul. Think of this moment as a veil coming off your eyes. Tonight, I have a new idea for your future that is better than anything you could have imagined. It's clearer, brighter, and more in line with who you really are. It was hard for you to look forward to. See you later. So your ability to dream started to fade. You can't see as clearly as you used to, because of the disappointments in your past. You didn't want to hope for too much, because hope felt unstable. Because your dreams were late, you were afraid of dreaming too big. You were afraid to believe again, because what you thought had broken your heart before. But tonight, I restore your ability to look, but this time not through worry but through faith. This new mental picture isn't based on what hurt you, but on what helped you get better. Not because of what you lost, but because of what you are becoming. I'm taking off the layers of negativity that made you doubt yourself and that made your hopes low. It was doubt that made it hard for you to see clearly. I'm getting rid of the things that happened in the past that made you wonder if greatness was still possible for you. Don't look back at your future. It is standing ahead of you. Your future is ready to open up, grow, and unfold. Tonight I think of an imaginative and smart idea that goes beyond survival and into motivation. This is a vision that opens your eyes to possibilities where you previously perceived walls. This is a vision that illuminates opportunities where you previously perceived only obstacles. A vision that sees your strengths instead of your flaws. Being imaginative and foresighted means seeing benefits over problems. You'll start to think about things again. You might feel like wanting something again. You'll start making plans again. You'll start to believe that something beautiful, important, and divine is being made just for you. This new vision will change everything, including the choices you make, the chances you take, the people you connect with, the goals you set, the habits you form, and the way you see yourself. You won't walk around in circles anymore. You can follow the path. You will no longer lose anything. You will be led by your senses. You won't flow. You are going to pass. Your fate isn't small. Your fate isn't normal. Not every time you look ahead, you'll feel the same pain again. It covers a lot. It works a lot better. It is blessed. I'll let you see it tonight. No longer all of a sudden, but just enough to spark your fire again. Feel this moment like someone is pulling a pen out of your hands. This evening, I'm going to rewrite the story you think is true about yourself. The story isn't based on facts. It's shaped by pain, fear, unhappiness, complaint, memories that hurt you, and studies that made you question your worth. You've held on to stories that were never really yours. Right now, I'm not competent enough. I make mistakes all the time. I am not worthy. I can't be seen. I'm too broken. I am past my due date. I'm not good enough. I'm too much of something. I'm not enough anymore. These lies so deeply affected your self-image, behavior, and sense of worth that they changed how you thought. But tonight, I took back responsibility for creating your ID. You were never meant to look at yourself through the lens of your mistakes, the way other people treated. You wasn't supposed to help you figure out who you are. It was never meant for you to take on labels that hurtful people gave you. You were never meant to carry the weight of lies that have become your own inner truths. Trauma, false impressions, stress, rejection, and moments of hope for progress have shaped your story. Tonight, I reveal the truth about every falsehood that attempted to shape your identity. I change words in your story to ones like chosen, worth, robust, redeemed, restored, proficient, referred to as practical, cherished, and sufficient. I change shame to honor. I replace worry with confidence in myself. I swap out insecurity for identity. I change remorse to redemption. I've added the chance to the list of problems. Trying to figure out everything in life through the lens of I am not valued will not work. Your decisions will come from a place of real worth instead of hurt. You'll go into relationships with confidence instead of neediness. You will be brave when searching for opportunities instead of being afraid. You can contemplate yourself again, not because you're the best, but because you're better. Tonight, the story inside your head changes. Your story changes, and your life will also change because of it. Currently, you feel like chains are falling off your soul. Please don't feel guilty about what you did tonight. Your regret has been like a shadow, whispering what ifs, playing over old decisions, and reminding you of times you can't change. This silent weight of choices you wish you had made differently has been on you for years. You wish you had said or held back certain phrases. You missed opportunities. You messed up relationships or stayed in them for too long. Ways you turned away from. There were moments when you believed you were squandering precious time. Your regret has grown deep, making you think that the beyond has already ruled out your fate. But tonight, I destroy that illusion. I take away the shame that comes with remembering things that still hurt. I freed your mind from the loop of remembering, contemplating, writing down, and reliving things that happened in the past. Your spirit has been heavy with regret, not because you were weak, but because you ponder what you could have done better, who you could have been for other people, and what your life could have been like. Being worried isn't always the same as being chained, though. You've always known which chances you missed because of regret. The feeling of regret has told you that you can't get back what you lost. Regret has told you that your mistakes make you who you are. Regret, on the other hand, lies. And tonight, I tell you the truth in every part of your memory. You are still eligible for the life I'm leading you in. No matter what you've done, the redemption I'm working on for your gift is stronger than anything else I can think of. I free you from the emotional weight of F only that held you back. You don't have to feel bad about not knowing what you know now. I free you from the punishment you've been carrying around with you for too long. Now you don't have to be your own judge. Pain is not the way to show that you've learned your lesson. You don't have to hold on to regret to remember not to make the same mistakes again. I can teach you through peace, not through punishment. Tonight, I turn regret into awareness, and it no longer hurts. In place of the alternatives you've already tried, I turn them into stepping stones instead. I use every mistake you make to write about your adulthood. I use every obstacle as an opportunity to reach your call. There is no more waste, not even your past. You will make a change inside yourself. Your heart will be much less strained. Your breathing will feel lighter, and your memories will hurt less. When you say, "I forgive myself," it won't be because you're ignoring the beyond, but because it's no longer taking over your life. Tonight, I don't feel any regret. You move into freedom, but not freedom from memories. You move into freedom from being judged. From now on, you won't have to bear the previous day's burdens. This truth penetrates the soft parts of your heart, much like healing light. This evening, I'll restore your ability to believe again. You agree with yourself. Trust other people. Have faith in the future and in the gentle pushes I'm giving you. You have experienced pain in ways that you may not believe were justified. Friends and family who you loved hurt your heart. Things that you once believed in ultimately turned out to be disappointments. Promises you held on to fell apart. Accept, one step at a time, that you have changed into something fragile, something guarded, something you learned to hold back for safety. You began to question your decisions. You made your discernment confusing. You were not sure if being open had turned into a weakness. As of tonight, though, I'm beginning to slowly rebuild trust. However, it's not the traditional type of trust that ignores warning signs, but rather a thoughtful, grounded understanding that arises from resolving issues. There are places in my life where betrayal left deep emotional scars. I understand the talks that made you question how much you're worth. I understand the disappointments that led you to build walls. Personally, I remember the times when you told yourself, "Never again," not to protect your future, but to stay in the present. But living in fear has cost you more than the wounds themselves. It kept love from getting close. It kept a chance from getting lost. It kept them from being vulnerable, and by extension, close at a distance. It was fine for you to defend yourself. You have been hurt. But tonight, I'm going to start restoring acceptance as true within you in a way that doesn't make you hurt, but frees you from fear. You'll get back to believing in yourself. Consider your voice, your intuition, your understanding, your strength, and your journey to recovery. You are not the same person who was hurt. There is more wisdom in you now. You sound more grown up now. You seem to have more awareness now. The hurts you've been through in the past don't determine how ready you are for the future. I also bring back thoughtfulness in relationships, not blind trust, but belief based on evidence. I bring into your life people who are safe, reliable, consistent, and healthy. I put souls around you who will honor your heart, protect your weakness, and walk with you in truth. You learn by being honest and moving steadily, not by using perfect language or written phrases. You may also slowly learn that connection does not always mean risk. And most importantly, I make people believe in me again. My absence wasn't because I was far away. It was because pain made it difficult to feel my presence. I have been with you in every broken place. And tonight, I comfort your spirit. You might agree with my current perspective, which reflects your own feelings. The healing may not be profound. It will happen slowly. He might be deeply felt. It's not always dangerous to go back to your life after agreeing. It is far from a recovery, and you will love and hope fearlessly from now on. This moment should feel like a sacred touch on the part of yourself that you keep most hidden. I'm opening your heart tonight not to break it or hurt it, but to show it how to find love without fear. In your love, you have been deeply, honestly, and selflessly given. As a result, you have also received a great deal of attention. You were vulnerable because you were so open, which made you beautiful. Over time, you started to think of love as dangerous, affection as risky. and closeness as the ability to break your heart. You told yourself that being by yourself was fine. You told yourself that you didn't need everyone. You told yourself that the backs of walls made your heart feel safer. But those walls did more than just keep our pain inside. They kept our happiness, connection, love, belonging, and the love your soul became and was made to hold. Starting tonight, I'm going to start easing those walls down, but not by hitting them severely, but by giving them comfort. You were afraid because of the hurts I healed. The fear that led you to believe that liking something should typically result in loss has vanished. The memories that made your heart break again and again are turned off. I untangle the emotional knots caused by being alone, abandoned, or betrayed. I want to remind you that love isn't meant to be a way to stay alive. Food is what it's supposed to be. Since goodbye put your heart in defense mode, you forgot what ease feels like. You forgot what it's like to get something instead of giving it to someone else. You forgot what it's like to be chosen without any conditions. But tonight, I'm opening up the chambers of your heart again so you can receive love, support, warmth, friendship, and partnership without having to prepare for impact. I'm not going too fast anymore. I'm getting ready for you. I'm putting you in touch with people who love lightly and honestly. People who don't use your weakness against you and value your heart. These are individuals who reciprocate your kindness. They are individuals who show love consistently, rather than haphazardly, and whose presence instills a sense of safety in you. People whose intentions seem natural. Besides that, I'm teaching you how to love yourself again, to be kind to your heart, to respect your wants, to trust that you are valuable, and to let yourself be loved fully. When love procedures are done, you can't shrink anymore. You might not consider abandonment to be the end. You will no longer allow past hurts to prevent you from embracing what is healthy. Tonight, your heart starts to heal in a way that makes it ready to grab hold of love without fear or caution. And when love comes through friendships, family, companionship, and common sense, you can be ready, whole, steady, and fearless. Feel like my arms are reaching into the deepest parts of your soul right now. Tonight, I repair the broken part of you. The part that you hide. The part you protect. The part that you almost never say exists. You've lived your life with wounds that time couldn't heal. Some of the wounds came from people you care about. Some of them were from seasons you didn't ask for. Some of them came from choices you made when you were hurt. Furthermore, even though you've matured, grown, and accomplished a lot, there's still a quiet ache inside you that you don't talk about because it's too painful, too complicated, and too tender. This evening, I went into that area not to show it off or make it look serious, but to completely heal it. You have kept your brokenness inside in silence. When you concealed it, you smiled despite it, persevered through it, prayed earnestly about it, and extended love to others. "I'm pleasant," was something you said, but it wasn't true. You're sure that recovery is something you don't need or have time for. You believe that your pain is not always significant enough, and that your heart will eventually heal. But ignoring pain doesn't make it go away. It calms down. And I'm not going to let that hidden pain settle any further tonight. I bring it to you, so that I can heal the parts of you that have been waiting too long for comfort. Some of your pain came from times when you didn't feel like you were chosen. Some of you came here from relationships where you didn't feel seen. Some of them came from broken dreams. Some of them came here because they were hurt as kids. Some of them came from loss. Some came from being lied to. Some of them came from nights when you cried alone, hoping no one would hear you. Every tear stood out to me. I heard every prayer that was said quietly. I didn't leave you either. Not anymore, not even for a second. This night, I gather all the pieces of your heart and breathe healing into them all. Recovery no longer erases your story. Recovery transforms your narrative. Recovery doesn't make up for the pain that doesn't show up anymore. It diminishes the power that defines you. Being healed doesn't mean you're careless. It tells you that even the broken parts can become places where electricity flows. Tonight, I heal the grief you didn't really face. I heal the hurt that made you question yourself. I'll heal the heartbreak you found to be round. I alleviate the loneliness that persisted within you, even when you were in the company of those who exploited your vulnerability. I heal the shame that was attached to your identity. I alleviate the anxiety stemming from past hurts. You will feel this healing like a warm temperature, peace, release, weightlifting, a softening, a reminder of your worth, and a reminder that you deserve wholeness, not interim recovery or short-term relief. You deserve deep healing. Tonight, the things that were broken start to heal, and what was weak becomes strong again. Feel this moment like an inner typhoon stopping. Tonight, I liberate you from the internal struggle that has exhausted you, sapped your emotions, and split your heart in two. You've been torn inside, pushed between wanting to move on and wanting to be held again. You've been torn between wanting to trade, but being afraid of the unfamiliar, forgiving but still hurting, believing but still harboring doubts, hoping but still keeping yourself safe. These inner battles have worn you down in ways that no one fully understands. In the outside world, you look positive, but inside, you've been stopping wars that end with no visible scars. There are battles between your past and your future, your worry and your calling, and your history and your restoration. The battle and inner struggle are two of the heaviest things a soul can carry tonight, because they take away your power. When you do that, you feel cut off from yourself. It takes away bliss, reading pleasure, and peace. You start to doubt your choices, your feelings, and your progress because of it. On the other hand, I'm going to fight you inside, not to judge you or put you under a lot of stress, but to bring you peace of mind so that your confusion is quickly put to rest. You lost yourself trying to be what others wanted, which caused inner turmoil. Some came from trying to let go and cross, but they still felt connected to what hurt them. Some of them came from wanting to change, but being afraid to let go of old versions of yourself. Some individuals came from attempting to love while fearing vulnerability. Some came from trying to root, but I'm feeling pulled in many different directions right now. Tonight, I plan to soothe the turmoil. I talk peace to the parts of you that have been fighting. I put back together the broken parts of your heart. I shut down the voices that are arguing. Your doubts, fears, and hurts go beyond what hurts, and I raise my voice above them all. You'll start to be able to read where fog used to be. You will feel aligned in the same way that anxiety pulled you apart. You may feel reality's confusion as soon as it makes you doubt yourself. There will be peace where there used to be tension, and choices that felt heavy before will now seem possible. The feelings that were confusing before will now make sense. When you identify with something, it will no longer feel uncertain. Tonight, I bring harmony back to your inner world. From now on, you won't be split against yourself. You won't stop your progress. You can no longer fight invisible tensions that make you feel down. I give you team spirit within your own company. The mind, heart, soul, and drive are all in sync and at peace. This night, the war inside you ends. Feel this moment as if it were a fresh breeze blowing over your life. I extend you grace tonight for the new season you are entering. Grace that provides you strength, prepares you, and sets you up for everything ahead of time. You are entering a chapter that is different from what you have been through so far. There will be new duties, new relationships, new benefits, and new levels of non-secular growth. And with each new season comes the need for beautiful new grace. Not the grace that got you through the rest of your bankruptcy, but the grace that fits your new identity. You can't start this new season with the same attitude, defenses, habits, or energy that you used in the last one. So tonight, I give you new grace. Grace lets you deal with more without getting stressed out. Grace helps you figure out how to get around new places. Grace that gives you the courage to face things that used to scare you. Grace provides you with peace, even in unfamiliar surroundings. You have prayed for growth, but growth needs grace. You asked for clarity, but to make something easy to read, you need grace. You've prayed for high places, but they need grace. You prayed for healing, progress, coming back to life, and fresh starts. All of these things need grace that helps, supports, and keeps you going. This grace will be unique. It will feel like energy is rising in places where you used to feel weak. It will feel like confidence takes the place of doubt. It'll be like getting new information mixed with old information right after living it. It will feel like electricity coming back to your spirit. You'll experience a sense of supernatural power permeating your daily existence. You will have the grace to make new friends. Thanks for the new ideas. Grace to take on new duties. Grace to bring you brand new beneficial things. Grace for entirely new levels of emotional maturity. Grace is completely new problems. Grace for setting new goals. When you walk, you'll feel ready. Now it's not because you know everything, but because grace covers what you can't see. You will not fall apart under the weight of boom. You can no longer fall apart under the weight of growth. In the face of new territory, you will no longer be afraid to go there. Tonight, I give you grace that is made just for you. Substantial, strengthening, stabilizing, and empowering. It's grace that fits your next season perfectly. You will rise to the fullness of what I'm leading you to with this grace. Feel like a divine unlocking is happening inside you right now. Tonight, I refuse to obey the rules you set for yourself. You have barriers from old pains, disasters, doubts, and stories that made you think you couldn't do more. It was me who put up these walls. They came from experiences that made you doubt yourself in times when life made you want to fall instead of rise. You started to construct your thoughts invisible walls to stay inside of. You started to believe those ceilings were real, telling yourself things like, "This is as far as I will ever go. That is all I can do. That is all I deserve. That is all I'll ever be." But tonight, I break them. Tonight, I break down every false boundary you built around your identity, abilities, and future. You have seriously underestimated yourself for too long. You have told yourself that you weren't smart enough, strong enough, skilled enough, or worthy enough. You've talked yourself out of opportunities because you didn't feel ready. You've lowered your voice because you would rather not be too loud. You've worn humility like armor, but it was really insecurity dressed up as a warning. But tonight, I present the truth. You can do more than you've let yourself believe. You are more potent than your records, larger than your fears, and more than your beyond reviews suggest. I damage the challenge that announces you cannot rise because of where you started out. I smash the obstacle that says you cannot develop because of what broke you. I break the drawback that announces you cannot heal, because the wound turned into D. I smash the issue that says you cannot prevail due to the fact you once failed. I ruin the hassle that asserts you are unlovable because you were once rejected. Those barriers have whispered lies for years, shaping the way you walked, how you spoke, the way you loved, how you intended, and the way you dreamed. But those who lie will lose their power tonight. I'm increasing your imagination and prescience. I'm stretching your spirit. I am enlarging your ability. I am strengthening your self-belief. You can now see yourself as sufficient. You will start to see yourself via the lens of possibility, purpose, and divine layout. Vintage mantle ceilings will fall apart. Old emotional prisons will open, and old self-imposed limits will fall away. You will feel an internal shift, a stirring of courage, a rising of confidence, and a spark of boldness. You will start to try things you used to be afraid to. You will walk into rooms you used to feel unworthy of entering. You will pursue desires you used to think were too big. Tonight is the end of your self-limiting beliefs and the start of a life lived without the limits of worry, as it is built around you. Feel this reality. Cut through the noise of every negative voice you've ever heard. I am breaking every lie that has told you that you couldn't succeed. People have been telling you these lies for years, sometimes subtly, sometimes loudly. These were lies that made you feel inadequate. People told you lies that you didn't deserve happiness or success, that you were too hurt to heal, too late to trade, and too regular to depend on. Lies that made you shallow, stifled your confidence, and dimmed your joy. But tonight, their lies meet my truth, and my truth always wins. People's words hurt you, their doubts shaped you, and their lack of faith in you made you question your identity. People told some lies out of anger, some due to a lack of information, and some because they were unaware of your true cost. But you told them when you were alone, worried, or defeated, when it felt easier to believe the worst about yourself than to hope for something better. But those who were lying should stop here. They stop now. They stop tonight. You aren't vulnerable. You're resilient. You're selected. You're selected. You aren't at the back of. You're properly on time. You aren't damaged past repair. You're being rebuilt stronger than earlier. You aren't forgotten. You are seen, recognized, and deeply valued. You are not destined to replicate your past. You're being organized for a new destiny. I damage the lie that asserts you cannot trade. I destroy the lie that says you cannot develop. I damage the lie that asserts you cannot be successful. I smash the lie that asserts you cannot be cherished. I break the lie that claims you cannot rise above your struggles. I break each lie that told you you cannot, because I've already declared you can. You may and you are. Fact is rising in you this night. This fact liberates you from the internal critic that has held you hostage. Truth that silences the voices that minimized your worth. The fact that it redefines your identification in line with heaven no longer hurts. You will feel this shift like a cleaning for your thoughts. You've been living in pieces of yourself for too long. A version of you shaped by worry. A version of you shaped by other people's expectations. And a model of you shaped by survival. Tonight, I replace the lies with reality. Reality that strengthens, reality that uplifts, and reality that aligns you with your destiny. Your internal story changes. Lies fall apart, reality rises, and you step into a new identity, based on what I say, not what everyone else said. Feel like a mantle of courage settling on your shoulders. Tonight, I offer you the confidence to walk towards your full identity and calling. Self, Belief that comes not from ego but from fact, alignment, and divine empowerment. You've had trouble believing in yourself because you've been measuring yourself against people who weren't supposed to be your standard. You worried about your gifts because someone else didn't see them. You doubted your calling because the path felt strange. You avoided polishing to prevent threatening or disappointing anyone. You put yourself down because you were afraid of being misunderstood. But believing in yourself isn't arrogance, it's aligning with reality. Tonight, I align you. I provide you the confidence to talk without flinching. I provide you the confidence to lead without apologizing. I provide you the confidence to create without overthinking. You will have the self-belief to embrace the environment without feeling guilty. Your self-belief will enable you to overcome any obstacles without fear or hesitation. Self-belief to accept as true that you were made for more than survival. You will experience this self-assurance rise like heat to your chest. This self-assurance will not be loud or smug, but rather constant, grounded, and unshakable. It'll come from understanding who you are and what you deliver. It'll come from spotting your presence as divine assignments, not accidental abilities. It will come from understanding that your calling is particular and cannot be compared. It'll come from knowing that reason isn't approximately perfection. It's approximately obedience, authenticity, and courage. This confidence will rewrite the manner you move via your world. You will walk into possibilities with readiness rather than hesitation. You'll step into rooms of expertise. You belong there. You may pursue your goals without doubting your worthiness. You will protect your barriers with energy instead of guilt. You may accept as true your decisions with readability in place of fear. Tonight, I make your identity stronger. I set off your calling. I make you feel better. I bring to life the model of you that has always been inside, the version of yourself that you were made to be. Now that you have more faith, you can walk boldly into every blessing, chance, and season that lies ahead. Currently, feel it like a divine hand adjusting your path in a gentle but firm way. Tonight, I guide you to your calling and the path that has been waiting for you. You've been through times when you weren't sure what to do next. You experienced moments of uncertainty, wondering if you were moving in the right direction, or if you had forgotten your true purpose and strayed off course. That's what you did because you were afraid. People who are exhausted take long breaks, which can lead to delays, and people who are distracted can lead to sighs. And even during those times, I never lost the tune of your voice. There is no way I will help you get off track from what I planned for you. But tonight I go even further. I make your steps as perfect as God's. You will no longer walk around without knowing what to do and hoping that what you choose will work. I cleared away the fog that was making it difficult to see your choices. I shut down the voices that were pulling you in different directions. I clear away the confusion that led you to doubt your own instincts. I eliminate the influence of distractions that attempt to prevent you from achieving your goals. And I tell your feet to be ready. So every step you take is deliberate and right, and in line with what I have planned. There are paths you thought about before that might not be right for you now. You may have missed some chances in the past that no longer fit with your plans for the future. There are some relationships you used to have that you can't cross where you're going. You set some goals in the past that don't fit with who you are now. Tonight, I gently but firmly change the way you're going. You will feel like you are being drawn to the right things and losing interest in the wrong ones. You'll experience a sudden sense of clarity that helps you tell the difference between reason and distraction. If something is pulling you off course, you'll feel more conviction. You'll feel calmer when you're headed in the right direction. I'm teaching you how to understand alignment with your spirit, not your eyes. Your steps start to look the same. Your actions become planned. You make better choices. Your path will seem lit up, even if you haven't completely found it. No longer can you just happen to stumble upon your fate. You can walk into it feeling sure of yourself and clear. Every step you take will matter, add to the whole, bring things together, and make sense. Alternatively, you will know where you are being led, even if you don't know where I am leading you. Tonight, your steps will line up. Now, your success is due to divine intervention, rather than chance or hard work. Feel this moment like the sound of chains, breaking inside the invisible. I offer your spirit the step forward. It has been waiting for tonight. That big break you prayed, cried, and hoped for, even when you were exhausted. There have been seasons when nothing seemed to move, where progress felt painfully slow. Doors wouldn't open no matter how vigorously you knocked. Benefits felt behind schedule, and answers felt withheld. You asked me if I heard you. You looked around to see if anything was moving. You didn't understand why the leap forward stopped being a dream for you and started being one for other people. But I'll show you something tonight that you couldn't see before. Breakthrough has been happening in the background, unseen, and gathering speed in ways that your herbal eyes couldn't see. It's not always straightforward to leap forward all at once. It gets bigger. It gets better. It builds up. Now, all the stress, longing, prayers, tears, and battles you've been through have led to a divine launch. Breakthrough comes to you tonight not as a promise, but as a fact. I smashed through the spiritual barriers that were stopping you. I breach the emotional barriers holding you captive. I break the patterns that have been around for generations and were trying to hold you back. I break through the mental struggles that have exhausted you. I dismantle the recurring patterns in your life. I spoiled you by preventing you from moving forward, which made you feel stuck. This progress is not a half step. It is whole. It affects the parts of your life that were hardest to change. It travels to the places where disappointment lives. It fixes the places where desire felt weak. It makes you feel clean where you were worn out. It provides you motion where you felt stuck. It clears up areas where you were feeling weighed down. It helps you feel better after you've lost something. Your next step will come to you in unexpected ways, through chances you didn't see coming, conversations that change everything, and doors that open on their own. The process of healing feels surprisingly real. When your spirit gets stronger again, I'm gaining strength from within. I break what has been impossible to break tonight. I flow with things that haven't changed. I move things that won't move. This is your next step. Not because you fought perfectly, but because you kept going, trusted it, and stayed close to me even when you were weakest. Tonight, a breakthrough turns into your new truth. You sense a surge of power rising within you at this moment. I give you the power to finish what you started tonight. You need emotional strength, mental electricity, religious energy, and even physical electricity to see your cause through to the end. As you start many things, you do so with passion, excitement, and desire. However, at some point in your journey, life began to challenge you. Feeling worn out all over. A whisper of discouragement. The delays caught you off guard, potentially leading you down the wrong path. You lost your way because of trouble. You have done more than you know. But you have also felt the weight of unfinished chapters, unfinished projects, unfinished hopes, and unfinished dreams. But tonight, I want to remind you that you were not made to start and stop. It was made for you to begin and end. Also, the part of your life that feels lacking will soon be filled with the strength it needs to reach its full potential. I acquire the strength to push through resistance, the energy to stop putting things off, the energy to stay consistent, the energy to stay focused, and the electricity to keep my vision, even when progress seems slow. You will feel power rising from places you thought were empty. Your voice, your choices, your willpower, and your bravery are getting stronger. But the energy you need to keep going doesn't come from adrenaline or emotion. It comes from my spirit. You gave up on some goals not because they died, but because you were worn out. You may have woken up from some dreams, not because they were mistaken, but because you were beaten. You want to make some changes, but don't have the strength to keep them up. Tonight, I breathe new strength into all of those places. You will feel like your spirit is waking up again. Your fire will start to burn again. Your dedication will grow stronger. Your stress will come back. This is not due to your hard work, but rather to God's renewal. I back up your work arms. I make your heart stronger out of desire. I believe in your mind's ability to stay strong. I make your mind stronger for a reason. You can't leave any of the tasks I give you unfinished. You might want what you had at the beginning. You may move into the picture you had. You might have the opportunity to see the plants you sowed grow. You will now reach the end of this adventure, not worn out, but stronger. This night, you are given strength that will carry you through every task, calling, project, and blessing. You possess a power that renders quitting impossible, the kind of energy that makes finishing inevitable. Currently, you feel like the air around you is changing, and your spirit is rising to new heights. Tonight, I raise you to a higher level of spiritual maturity and understanding, more free from the habits, reactions, and points of view that used to hold you back. You're taller now than you think, but tonight is the start of a whole new level of growth. This is a transformative experience that alters your perception, behavior, appearance, and approach to life. There's more to this degree than what initially appears. The concept isn't just empty words. Being that mature ties your spirit to me so deeply that not even a hurricane can pull you away. Don't let confusion make you unstable. You can't become lost in worry or become sidetracked by other things. You've been through times when your emotions decided what you did, when triggers decided how you reacted, when impatience pushed you to act quickly, when offense skewed your judgment, when old wounds decided how you reacted, and when immaturity stole your peace. But tonight, I lift you above those patterns. This time, not by making you stronger, but by helping you understand spiritual things better. I open your eyes so you can see past the floor. You will learn to understand situations clearly, discern people's intentions with insight, and recognize my guidance even during difficult times. This non-religious growth will change how you deal with problems. You shouldn't freak out at the first sign of trouble. When I tell you to steer, you'll stop, breathe, and listen. You won't mistake silence for abandonment. It will look like a plan to you. You can no longer mix up delays and refusals. You'll apprehend them as preparation. You will not view challenges as punishment. You'll understand them as education for greater authority. I am honing your judgment, so you can always tell what's mine and what's not. I am deepening your knowledge, so you can navigate relationships with grace, not emotion. I am strengthening your patience, so you can endure with desire in place of frustration. I am refining your person so that you can deliver advantages without self-doubt or self-sabotage. This maturity will touch each part of your lifestyles. Your conversations will become deeper. Your choices will become cleaner. Your barriers turn into something healthier. Your mind turns steadier. Your coronary heart turns into a wiser one. And the beautiful aspect is that this adulthood isn't pressured. It is a natural end result of my spirit enlarging your potential. You may locate yourself responding differently, wondering in another way, and judging conditions in another way. You'll look and realize you aren't who you were. This change is not because life hardened you, but because I helped you grow. Tonight you rise in expertise. Tonight you rise in awareness. This night you will elevate your spiritual clarity. Tonight you upward push into the version of yourself that could convey the blessing I am releasing subsequently. Feel this moment as if layers are being removed from your identity. Tonight I display the reality of approximately who you are and, just as importantly, who you aren't. For too long, your identity has been shaped by experiences, by people's reviews, by painful moments, by past failures, by childhood wounds, by lack of confidence, and by the silent assumptions you have held about yourself. You've got worn labels that have been by no means meant for you. You've got to believe lies that have been planted in moments of weakness. You've carried definitions that came from broken places, no longer divine reality. However, tonight, I will provide clarity regarding your identity by removing everything that is no longer yours to bear. You aren't what occurred to you. You aren't the mistakes you made. You are not the disappointment you endured. You are not the failure that wounded your self-belief. You are not the words that harm you. You aren't the abandonment that scarred you. You aren't the trauma that fashioned your childhood. You are more than the lack of confidence that whispered lies in your ear. You're who I say you are. You are not anything less, nor anything more. And tonight, I monitor the truth of that identity with precision. I demonstrated the strength I instilled in you before you even understood its purpose. I show you the resilience you have verified without knowing it. I display to you the knowledge growing inside you. Through each season, your concept might break. I show you the cause that has been guiding your steps, even though you felt misplaced. I show you the splendor, the glory, the worth, the strength, the grace, and the calling embedded in your very being. And I also reveal what you are not. You are not vulnerable. We see you growing. You are not behind. You are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You're being held. You aren't insignificant. You are selected. You are not empty. You are being stuffed. You aren't broken beyond repair. You're being restored. This truth will feel like freedom. It's going to be an experience like coming home to yourself. It'll feel like standing in front of your actual reflection after years of fog. It will feel like permission to avoid pretending, shrinking, hiding, and apologizing for being who I created you to be. This night, your identity will become clear. This night, your self-story turns sincere. Tonight, your spirit steps into reality. In fact, the units you have unfastened are in ways you have never experienced before. Sense this second like a divine seal being pressed onto your spirit. Tonight, I seal the whole thing I've spoken over you. Every promise, each blessing, every step forward, each recovery, each shift, each revelation. So nothing and no one can scrounge or borrow it from you. Too often you have experienced moments of clarity. It's best to lose them while doubt is back. You have felt breakthroughs only to question them. When demanding situations surfaced, you have obtained promises, but you have struggled to directly preserve them. when occasions contradicted what I stated. You have felt peace. However, you have watched it fade below strain. You have felt joy but struggled to maintain it within the presence of familiar disappointments. I deny I started that cycle. When I seal something, it can't be altered. Nothing can be undone once I've sealed it. Once I seal something, it cannot be stolen. After I seal something, it turns into something blanketed, guarded, preserved, and bolstered. Tonight, I seal your restoration so old wounds can't reopen. I seal your leap forward so vintage cycles cannot return. I seal your clarity so confusion cannot creep back in. I seal your peace so tension cannot reclaim its preserve. I seal your identification so lack of confidence cannot distort it. I seal your purpose so fear cannot sabotage it. I seal your joy so sorrow cannot dilute it. I seal your growth so vintage variations of you cannot pull you backward. This seal is not symbolic. It's far more spiritual. It serves as a covering, a protection, and a strengthening pressure that encompasses everything I have achieved within you. During this divine unfolding, you will sense it like balance rising within you, like energy securing your foundations, like self-belief anchoring your soul. No voice of doubt will override what I sealed, and no attack from the enemy will undo what I secured, and no memories of the afterlife will weaken what I have restored. No worry, I will approve what I planted. No situation will contradict what I initiated. Everything was said, everything was healed, everything was revealed, and everything was fixed. Tonight I'm going to seal it, and once it's sealed, no one can touch it. This is why you'll wake up different. In light of this, the old patterns will no longer fit. Because of this, the old temptations will no longer work. This is the reason why the old fears will die down. Your blessing is set in stone tonight. Tonight is the night you make your big leap forward. Tonight is the final day of your change. Tonight your fate is wrapped up. You have a blanket on. You are safe. You are kept safe. No one or anything can take away what I have sealed inside you tonight. Feel this moment as a divine surge that wakes up every promise that has been sleeping inside you all night. I say that your blessing doesn't always just happen. It's set to miles. For what seemed like an endless time, you've waited, prayed, hoped, persisted, and put your faith in God. You had faith even though you had nothing left to stand on. However, you agreed with when I said it. Even though your arms were shaking, you held on. Even though disappointment told you that it would be safer to give up hope, you kept trying. But now listen to me. The blessing I spoke over you is already here. It's no longer in the method. It's not in training anymore. It is turned on this night. It first evolved to move things around. It begins to change and become more visible. It begins to appear in herbal practices that have existed in the non-secular realm for a long time. Usually, benefits don't come with fireworks. They sometimes come slowly and quietly, like seeds popping open in the ground before the sprout appears. But the activation is clear tonight. The change will hit you. The movement will be clear for you. You will recognize that a change has occurred, even if your eyes have not yet fully discerned it. You'll feel movement where there was none before. You might sense readability where there was confusion. Where there was exhaustion, there will be strength. You'll feel possibility where there was doubt, because an activated blessing is made up of a person. When it moves toward you, everything around you changes to make room for it. Of course, activation refers to the process by which previously shut doors begin to open again, not due to pressure, but because they are properly aligned. Activation occurs when sources that were previously unavailable begin to flow. And this happens intentionally rather than by chance. They're doing this with God's help. Activation method, the right people start to show up not through danger, but through planning. Activation method, the path before you begins to change in a way that becomes clear not through effort, but by design. His blessing isn't always weak, uncertain, or split up. He's linked up. It's given power. It is launched with a plan. It includes my signature, my authority, my timing, and my reason for signing. Nothing can stop it, put it off, or steal it from you tonight, because it's fully turned on. Not fear, not doubt, not rivalry, not the unknown, not the enemy, not instances. What's been turned on can't be taken back. You will enjoy this activation on the inside before you notice it on the outside. You'll feel lighter in spirit. Your prayers will have more power. Your expectations will go up again. It will grant your wish. There will be more possibilities in your mind. Your faith in yourself will be steady. When you enter a divine collection, everything starts to line up with what you want. You won't be looking for this blessing anymore. It's coming to see you. You don't have to beg for this blessing anymore. Tonight it's yours. For the blessing, what was a promise becomes a reality. What was possible becomes real. And what was expected to happen becomes a reality. Tonight I light what's yours on fire. Feel this second as if an invisible wall is rising around you. This night, I'm putting a divine hedge of safety around your lives. This hedge safeguards your physical well-being, property, relationships, finances, purpose, and future. Attacks have come from places you didn't expect, people you didn't think would attack, minds you didn't choose, and religious pressures you didn't always see coming. You have endured battles that drained you, storms that shook you to your core, and times when you felt exposed, unguarded, and unprotected. But that feeling is over tonight. This night, I fortify your existence in a manner that neither herbs nor religion could penetrate. This hedge isn't a scary wall. There is a mile of divine safety. What is sacred stays safe inside, and what is dangerous stays outside. It goes around your steps to keep you from getting lost. It keeps your heart safe from emotional attacks. It protects your thoughts from minds that want to steal your peace. It keeps your home safe from chaos, war, and spiritual interference. With its careful protection, it keeps harmful connections from taking root in your relationships. It surrounds your destiny like a wall, stopping anyone from messing with it or sabotaging it. Method of protection: I hide what you can't see. Approach to safety: I prevent changes that are intended to harm you. I ensure safety by closing doors that could potentially harm you. Protection means that I mess up the plans of people who want to hurt you. Safety is how I tell you about things in your lives that don't fit with my will. When I protect you, I make you strong enough to fight in battles you ran away from the moment they started. You'll start to notice small changes. Yes, people will no longer be able to reach you, but not through battle, but through divine distance. There are some attacks that will really be stopped, not by your efforts, but by my defense. Positive worries will dissipate, but not via coping mechanisms. Instead, they will go away through spiritual peace. Cycles of good will break. Not because you fought harder, but because you are now a part of the group. You'll sleep better. Your focus will get better. Your relationships will get better. It will feel safer, lighter, and stronger in your spirit. This protection won't go away either. It's not seasonal. It no longer flickers or fades. It's far away, steady, never-ending, and planned. Rather than your strength, you are safe because of the promise I made with you. You are safe not because you deserve to be perfect, but because you are mine. No weapon that is aimed at you can work. Not because weapons won't form, but because my hedge takes them apart before they reach you. Tonight, you can sleep knowing that you are protected, surrounded, and a part of everything. Take in this moment, which is like the last stroke on a long, unfinished book. Tonight, I pray that God will put a divine finish on this part of your life. The difficult times, the training, the waiting, the breaking, the pruning, the refining, the quiet fights, the silent tears, and the unseen work within you are all part of this journey. This season did its job. It shaped you and made you mature. It made you humble. It made you stronger. It woke you up. It showed what needed to be fixed. It built what needed to be strengthened. It eliminated the elements that were attempting to be released. The assignment is now done, though. I will also discuss the word whole tonight. Obtaining the ultimate success does not imply instant perfection. It means that everything you need for the next level is now ready. The season you've been walking through is no longer random. That wasn't a punishment. There was no abandonment. It turned into school, and teaching always comes to an end. Tonight, that season's weight is off of us. There is no more room in the chapter. You can't gain into the classes. The restoration is firmly in place. The rise has become stronger. Completion means that you no longer cross paths with other people. To finish something means you don't make the same mistakes again. Applying the final touches ensures you avoid repeating the same mistakes. It means that you don't fight the same battles. The concept of completion means that you don't inflict the same harm. The most important thing is that you are no longer stuck where you've been. This divine crowning glory breaks loops that seem to have no end. It stops feelings from repeating. It keeps religion moving again. It lifts the mind from heavy thoughts. It clears up confusion about identification. It breaks down long, lasting residue. It lets go of ties that were holding you back. In places that used to feel open-ended, this feeling of completion will settle in. Some of you may feel like peace is washing over parts of you that used to be anxious. You might feel like readability is growing where questions used to be. You may sense a strengthening of your bones. You move on to a new season now that this one is over. You will feel not extra, not hurt, not heavy, not scared, but ready. Ready for growth. Ready for benefits. Ready for opportunities. Ready for healthy connections. Ready for a cause. And ready for the future you once didn't think would happen. Yes.